audio down up here. Let's turn down the main volume. I did.
Alright, let me see what I got. I mean, it's saying it's got it. The stream key didn't change.
Dunkirk Marauders now.
Test 1 2 1 2 test.
Button key, number 7, the one that's not PC.
All senior cameras is Roll beats in the field, end zone, all parents, senior parents, begin assembly on the adult end zone.
Thank you for tuning into Access.
Again, we want to ask all parents of seniors from band, cheerleaders, and football players, if you could please assemble now in the northeast end of the football field in the end zone. Senior band members, cheerleaders, and football players. Get prepared for our senior day. We honor our seniors who have participated and worked very hard in all sports.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, I see him.
So homecoming, I'm here with Wilfred Rosas, Mayor of City of Dunkirk. Mr. Rosas, what do you think of tonight's game? Well, we're rooting for the Marauders. I think it's always special when Dunkirk meets Fredonia. Today, obviously, it's homecoming, so that adds a little more to it. We have a lot of people here. I actually walked in the parade and really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed being with the food trucks. There was 7 of them there, and there was a lot of people there. So this is exciting to see all this activity happening here at the school, and go Marauders. Absolutely, absolutely. I was here earlier also, and a ton of people were here early, and we have a beautiful night, a little cool, but no rain, no wind, so hopefully we'll root out a Dunkirk Marauder victory. That's right, go Marauders. Thank you. Somebody would love to talk about the game tonight. We're off. Did we get everything on? Beautiful.
Okay, we're ready to get started as we recognize our seniors who have participated in all sports activities. As we recognize our athletes. We're going to start off with our seniors from the band. First, we have Sue Montez, who's been escorted by her mom, Cece Montez. Her plans are to go to college for military science. Her favorite memory has been I played with my Band family. Next we have Joshua Frazita. He's been escorted by his mother, Laura Frazita. His plans are to go to JCC to get a degree in welding and business. His favorite memory is marching band and trumpet section. Next we have Isabella Pedro. She's been escorted by Peggy Andy and her plans are to become a mortician and own her own funeral home. Her favorite football memory is marching in the parade. The next band member is Jeremy Bunny. He's being escorted by his mother, Marjorie Bunny. His future plans is to go to city Fredonia for sound recording. His favorite band member is his first jazz band solo. And next we have someone who's been doubly honored as a band member and cheerleader, Allegra Solares. She's been escorted by Monty Solares. Her future plans are to go to ROTC for 4 years and to become a JAG officer. She's also a senior cheerleader. And her favorite memory in cheerleading is working on the routine this season with a very small varsity team. And also being singing in I Love You in band. Let's hear it for our band members. Now for the rest of our senior cheerleaders. Abigail Mejia. She's been escorted by her mom, Natasha Seaver. Her future plans are to go to college in business management so she can own her own salon. Her favorite memory was the whole season spending time with her favorite girls and the best coach ever. Liliana Porter. She's being escorted by Rosie Vega, her mom, and Bradley Parker, her dad. That's Liliana Parker. Her future plans are to graduate and continue to pursue her dream of becoming a registered nurse. Her favorite memory is making memories with her little cheer family and getting lit on the bus ride with everyone. All right, let's hear it for those cheerleaders. How about Victoria Chiava? Her plan in high school is to attend Bell State to obtain a master's degree in social work. Her message to her classmates and teammates is work hard, strive for success, and be as kind as possible. She says she would also like to take this time to thank her coach Julie Trojan for doing so much more. Forever cherish the memories we made over the last 4 years. And now the senior varsity football players. Dana Austin. He's escorted by Coach Corey Austin and Dana Austin, his parents. Future plans, he's in the process of making his college season to pursue both education and play baseball. His favorite memory is his first big catch against Oakland. Gabriel Casanova, being escorted by Arcelos Rivera and Carlos Rosario. Future plans are to attend JCC and pursue underwater and grow to success. Underwater welding. And dad, Stephen Montez. His future plans are to attend Fredonia State Scored by Marvin Diaz. Grandma Lucy Wilson. Future plans are to go to college and study in the medical field. Favorite memories when Adrian Watson got his first touchdown. Juan Rosado. That's scored by Mom. Liz Marie Vasquez. His future plans are to graduate from high school and go to college. His favorite memory is when Adrian scored a touchdown and he intercepted the ball and made a touchdown. Earl Sealy. Become a cop and go to FBI or SWAT. Favorite memories when you got Air's kidnapped. See his 10 brother we had. Last but not least, Adrian Washington. His little brother Adrian Noah. His future plans are to continue football in college and study something in the medical field. His favorite football memory is moving all the way down his road every season and scoring versus Vanderbilt. Let's give another round of applause for our senior football varsity football players. We'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Dunkirk administration, faculty, and staff, and thank all of the seniors for their huge contribution to Dunkirk Hall sports.
There you are. I was looking for you. No. Over there. Oh, I'm just walking through. Yeah! They also the ball in the hand out. Yeah, I would too. They don't want to go to their buttons. Yeah, like that happens on TV shows. They don't know. That would be something to see. Everybody start hitting each other. This is the first time we played them for all time.
All right, now. At this time, I'd like to remember the please rise.
I thought you said Carlos.
As we honor our nation's colors with the presentation of the colors by the Dunkirk High School Junior Color Guard. And the singing of the national anthem is being sung by the Dunkirk High School Chorus. Being led by Janine Van Wyk.
If I didn't have this, I'd have mine on. Sound like a showcase. I am.
Bright stars
Caleb, you want me to like see?
Thank you, treasure. You're a treasure.
Well, once I take it.
You already know I had to walk the boys.
We'd like to welcome everyone to this contest as we celebrate Rivalry Week as the Dunkirk Marauders square up against the cross-family rival Fredonia Hillbillies. And now let's introduce our seniors that are playing their last game at Dunkirk and Carl Hilton Field.
Can you hear me? Nope.
Peyton Lawson.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I can't hear anything.
You can hear me? I can't hear anything. Okay, there we go. I can hear myself.
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Good to go. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dunkirk's Carl Huttner Field in Dunkirk, New York, for tonight's 127th meeting of the Dunkirk Marauders and Fredonia Hillbillies. I'm Mike Ferguson, and with me, your play-by-play man tonight, Mr. Drew Yelich.
Thank you, Mike. This is the 127th meeting of Dunkirk Fredonia. It's a storied rival here in New York. As a Fredonia alum, I remember it pretty well, going back years ago. But we're here on a beautiful night, and I think we're going to enjoy some good football. We've got a 3-3 Fredonia team and a 4-2 Dunkirk team. Both are really looking to capitalize on the last game of this season and take a victory home with them. I know Dunkirk really wants this one, as they were taken down by Fredonia last year in what seemed to be a lopsided matchup.
If you look at the Billies have actually won 18 of the last 20, but overall, right, Dunkirk still leads the all-time series, which started out in 1901. I don't think either one of us were around at that time. I don't think our parents were around at that time. But the overall, Dunkirk still leads the series at 65-50-11.
That's incredible. It's only 15 games apart, but at 18 out of 20, that's pretty significant, and they're still 15 back after making some ground. But what can you say? Earlier in the days when maybe even I probably wasn't alive, Dunkirk had quite the lead on them, before things changed in the 2000s.
Hey, tonight our referee is Dave Colsey. Our umpire is Landon Camella. Heads linesman is Carl Germain, and line judge is Todd Gugino Jr. The back judge is Dave Fody. And we've already done the national anthem. Also tonight, they've already had the homecoming parade, or the big parade that not only came through downtown area, but also came right through the front of the stands, which is tradition here in Dunkirk.
Absolutely, and it was quite the spectacle. I think we've got that captured for access, and they finished off with all their team spirit as they sent their cheers down in front of the raucous crowd here in Dunkirk, New York.
Senior night, too. Lots of seniors. I didn't realize how many seniors were on the squad, so it took a little bit to get that all done. So the pregame festivities are underway. They have flipped the coins, and the various teams are taking their side. Dunkirk from left to right, Fredonia from right to left. Captain shaking hands, and with that, we're going to turn the play-by-play over to your play-by-play man for tonight, Drew Yelich. Take it away, Drew.
All right, thank you, Mike. Can't tell right now who won the toss, but we'll have a little more information on that in a second here. Nice night here tonight, about 45 degrees.
Well, Dunkirk, of course, wearing their home maroons tonight.
Absolutely.
And Fredonia wearing their white jerseys and the black pants, both with dark helmets, which I would imagine, and even though there's spectacular lighting here in Dunkirk, sometimes that can get a little bit when you're looking at a maroon and a black helmet. I'm sure the quarterbacks are going to be looking for those jersey differentials.
Yeah, when you're looking to make a quick play, absolutely. What a field that is down there, that new turf.
Without a doubt, it's been really great for multiple sports, plus the new track that they've had here for a number of years. The big old English style D, which has been, tied in with the Dunkirk Marauders and the Detroit Lions, I guess you would call that.
That's what that looks like.
That's
okay,
what that
I thought
looks like. There you go.
Recognize that. All right, it looks as if Dunkirk's going to be kicking off to Fredonia. One would assume that they deferred, giving the ball to Fredonia first.
Barretto's going to be kicking the ball, number 5. He is their kicker and has been fairly successful doing so. Back for Fredonia is Dom Gullo. I can't see who's on the far side. You're going to have to, there we go, number 3, which is Dalton Gardner. There you are. We want to thank the Fredonia parents for giving us a lineup tonight.
Yeah. Squib kick down. Fredonia recovers at the 36-yard line. That quick kick almost looked like an onside kick.
It's recovered by Jacob Thompson. Kind of a surprise. I would have thought they would have tried to kick it deep, but it was a bit of a squib. They picked it up on about the 34-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark it on the 36.
36. Now, this offense, I've been told, is going to run sort of a power style. That quarterback, a young quarterback for Fredonia, Nick Whitfield Jr. I think this is going to be heavy on the run to start. Whitfield takes a snap, and it's a quick pass out to Jake Skinner.
Picked up a few yards. Maybe 2-3 yards, just short of the 40, a couple of inches.
Quick screen play to start.
You know, you asked the coach before the game started, are you going to go pass heavy? And he said, the game's going to dictate what we do. So
that's exactly right.
Didn't show his cards at all.
Whitfield in the shotgun. Another pass, 2 in a row. That pass goes overhead of number 3, Dalton Gardner, for an incomplete pass. We have a 3rd and 6 coming from the 40-yard line.
Seems like Fredonia's quarterback. Of course, it's a big game, no matter what the record.
Right.
Just that you're playing your crosstown rivals, you wait all year to be able to play this. This is trying to shake out some of those cobwebs right now and get that out of the way.
Quick to the ball is Fredonia. Shotgun snap, it's handed off, and he's through the hole. That's number 3. That's Dalton Gardner.
Gone.
He is going to the house untouched as he trots into the end zone. Almost walked it in there. It didn't look like anybody touched him as he broke through that line at the 40, and that's a 60-yard scamper for an early 6-0 score with 11:16 in the first quarter. Fredonia on the board first.
That's a quick one. You know, I talk about he looks like he's smallish in size, but he's the same size I am, 5'10", but he's 170 pounds, so I got 100 pounds on him. But he plays not only running back, but outside linebacker and wide receiver occasionally.
We're going to go for a 2-point conversion here as Whitfield throws the ball into the back of the end zone. It is complete to Jake Skinner, number 89.
They've been a combination almost all season, so they know where they're going to be. That's what they said. That's what the practice is for. And Fredonia takes a quick 8-0 lead in the first set of downs.
Right, and that's an interesting play call. Go for 2 right off the bat. Perhaps the kicking game maybe not be up to par for Coach Sherlock, but could be one of the strategies to take advantage of points early and set the tone.
Well, if you're going to try it, it's best to try and either make it or fail now than try to do it in the fourth quarter and possibly cost you a game. That 1 point could be very important later on this evening.
All right, quick off the score. Fredonia out to line up for the kickoff. Back deep, we have number 8, Alex Ahlstrom, and number 7, Mark Milliman for Dunkirk. To kick off for Fredonia,
Kyle McCullough.
Big
will
number
be making
59. What do you think it says about an early score for these kids out here on their senior night?
It's tough to say. I mean, there's jitterbugs on both sides of the ball. Yep, that was kind of a drive. That was kicked right.
Almost a squib kick, but scooped up very easily by Dunkirk for no damage at the 37-yard line.
Well, both teams have started with that one wasn't necessarily a squib kick as much as a drive.
Right.
They were able to pick that up, so it'll be 1st and 10 on the 37. Actually, they're marking it at 38.
Give them that extra yard. Every yard counts.
So cutting that field in half.
2 short fields to start for both offenses. Has to be in their favor. They're going to run a heavy power I style offense from what I've been told. Man in motion. And a quick pass play. A going deep. On the first play from scrimmage, we have Phil Messina, incomplete pass to number 28.
Devin
Peyton
McCall
Ahlstrom.
was all over him, and they were actually
Very
looking
good
for a flag on that one. A little bit extra contact, but
slightly underthrown ball.
Right.
Perhaps not necessary for a flag there. Great coverage, as you mentioned. I like the play call. Going for a pretty big play right after a score against you. Try to get some momentum back. As we have Messina going back under center here. Man motions to the right. Fake handoff. Messina rolls to the right. He's got a man open, and he had it and dropped it.
Oh, hit him right in the hands.
Oh, that was a nice play call. Man
Jose
wide
Camacho.
open.
Camacho's that's when he's gonna be seeing at about 11:30 tonight when he's trying to get some sleep. Hit him right in the hands and just wasn't able to get his hands on the ball.
Best recipe for that. Go right back to him.
That's right.
Give him another chance. He knows he can have that. He knows.
You know, when you talk to sports psychologists and they talk about the best, and it doesn't matter whether you're a football player, tennis player, hockey, whatever, the last play is the one to forget.
Right.
And to think about what's ahead. So hopefully they're working on that.
No doubt about that. We've got 2 receivers out wide to the right as Messina goes back under center. Another fake handoff as he rolls to his right. 15-yard pass falls incomplete.
Might be picked up. Yeah,
Whitfield
incomplete.
made a nice play on that ball. He slid at the 37-yard line to make an interception, but the referee right there in position to make the incomplete call, and now we have a 4th and 10 coming up for the home Dunkirk Marauders.
Yeah, it looked like it just, as he was trying to catch it, it hit the ground at the same time. So incomplete pass, but Fredonia will get the ball back.
A quick start for Fredonia, 3 and out on the defensive side, following that 40 or 60-yard run.
Well, if you're going to keep rolling out to the right, how soon before you start putting, double teaming your men to the right side? Here we go. There's the kick. And it is rolling
going to take a
past the
Dunkirk
35.
bounce. Scooped up. That's number 21 for Fredonia. That would be Dom Gullo. He makes his way out of bounds, and the 43-yard line is going to be where he's spotted out. Almost a pooch punt right there, as it only probably traveled 20 yards in the air, but it took a Dunkirk bounce right into the hands of Gullo as he was quick to pick that up and get his 10 yards.
So both teams starting between the 30 and 40-yard line on their
great field position we're looking at here.
And last time Fredonia had the ball, which was the first possession of the game, they put 8 points up on the board. Let's see what this series will hold for them.
Shotgun stance. Quick handoff to Gullo again, as he's going to take it around the right side. He's got about 12, maybe 13 yards as he's tackled out of bounds. That's number 4, Jamari Terry.
Some nice blocking, some nice lead blocking there. One of the blockers, of course, Nick Zartorsky was out there lead blocking on that play, and just a good job. Actually, I'm sorry, that wasn't Sartori, that was Troy Lansky. I have a habit of reading the wrong name for the...
We have a flag on the play.
It's on Fredonia.
Holding on Fredonia. That run is going to come back. That's a large gain. Being brought back. They're going to walk that back from the spot of the foul, it looks like. So the ball is going to be placed on the 40-yard line. And we have a 1st down and 13 to come. We have a shotgun stance again for Whitfield with wide receivers on both sides of the formation. Another quick handoff. This again is Gardner as he's out around the left side, and he's going again. One man to beat, and he pushes him out of bounds, and we'll wait for the placement to see where he is. About the 16-yard line as he runs from the 40-yard line once again. That's the same place as he ran it from for his touchdown on the first possession, all the way down to the 16-yard line. What'd you see there, Mike?
Well, the same, again, like you said, the same setup. It's a strong left side of the line, right side if you're on defense, and they were able to run that all the way down. It looked almost like an exact replay of the last, but there's a flag down on the ground.
We do have a flag.
Let's see what happens and who it's going to be against. Looks like it may be against Fredonia. Holding again against Fredonia.
Okay, that's back-to-back holding calls, bringing Fredonia back on 2 nice runs.
So a 13-yarder and a 30-yarder, both nullified back-to-back. And
now, oddly, they gained
start.
yards here from their last position.
Yeah, that's right.
So if there's one positive take out of it. We have a shotgun stance again for Whitfield as he looks to pass. He's going to move a little bit right in his pocket, finds a man open, just overthrows Jake Skinner, that tall prospect. Can't quite reach up and get that.
Skinner is going to be one of his number 1 targets. That's his 3rd target of the night already for Skinner.
2nd and 10 coming up with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Hard to believe we've seen all this much action and we've only been about just less than 2 minutes in.
Exactly.
Shotgun again. Tight doubles as I just overheard. Motion to the right. Whitfield keeps it himself. He had a lane to go. He cuts it back. Looked like he had 2 yards. He's going to end up back probably where he ended up at the first run after he bounced it back looking for a little bit more. So we've got about a 2-yard gain on the play.
Well, he had a hole and Dunkirk closed that up pretty quickly. He stepped back and actually shed 1 tackle and was able to break that, but unfortunately only picked up about 2 yards on the play. So that takes it right to the 45-yard line.
It's good swarming defense by Dunkirk. We have a 3rd and 8 coming up from the 45-yard line.
Skinner's out.
Whitfield getting the call from the coach.
Coming in is Alex Schrader.
All right, maybe a bit of confusion here, but we have a shotgun stance again. Whitfield gets the ball. He's looking for a deep pass to number 5, Tyler Putney, and it looked like it hit his hands. That might have gone right through, but that was some pretty tight coverage by the Marauders.
No doubt. It was great, great defense. And I'm trying to see who was defending him on that one. That's coming up. That's Alex Alstrom that was covering him.
Heard his name already a couple times tonight. Putney, he's also a 6'5" kid. Big targets for Fredonia.
The thing I'm impressed with is at the end of the play, Alstrom just reached over Fredonia player and tapped him on the shoulder, gave him a pat on the shoulder.
Love to see that. Good sportsmanship. Punt coming from Fredonia. We have a good ball in the air. It's going to bounce at about the 25-yard line. Takes a Fredonia bounce down to the 10, and it's going to roll out of bounds at roughly the 10-yard line as we are officially marked. That's a pretty good punt.
It's a good punt from that area, and it actually puts a good position for Fredonia and puts Dunkirk deep
in their own territory.
And
this is the first time we're going to see an offense come out with the entire length of the field to go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. You would think that more likely Dunkirk's going to try to come out with a running game.
Right. That's what I thought.
But they came out with three straight pass attempts in their first set of downs. So this will be their second possession. And here we go. 9:15 left in the first quarter. Fredonia leads 8-0.
Messina under center. Quick handoff. He's going to get 1 yard on the play. That is number 7, Mark Milliman.
And Alex Christie brought him down.
Looked like the offensive line was a little bit jammed by that defensive line. Not much space to run with it.
Gained maybe an inch or two on the play, and that's about all. You take a look at the line, and definitely from a size difference, Fredonia's got a size advantage over Dunkirk, at least visually, from this distance.
It's really the height. They're tall boys out there. Messina back under center here with 8:30 to go in the first quarter. We have another handoff right up the middle. And it's stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe 1 yard given up there.
Looked like Lansky and Skinner in on that play as well.
And that is Ortiz, Chris Ortiz. Now he's a favorite for the running back position. I believe he's going to be getting the ball a lot tonight, so we'll be calling on him.
Another full house here in Dunkirk. Standing room only, and of course they've got.
Absolutely.
You're sitting in the stands. You got a perfect view. They've got the standing room roped off to the ends, and you've got folks, of course, sitting up on the hill on the outside of the stadium as well. So it's a great
Not a
night
bad
for football.
view.
No
anywhere
rain
here.
and a nice fall chill.
Absolutely. 3rd and 7 coming up. Messina under center. He has the ball. Quick handoff, fake handoff to Ortiz. He keeps it himself. He's out past the 20-yard line. It looks like they're going to mark him roughly 2 yards past that first down. We'll wait for the spot. They have it right on the line. And that is the line to gain. We'll wait for the signal for the official first down mark.
Also tonight, there will be an award presentation after the game from Cross Training, which is character building, and their athletes will be picking the character athlete of the game following tonight's game. We'll be talking about that a little bit later.
Officially a first down for Dunkirk. Their first of the night. We have a 1st and 10 coming from the 20-yard line. Good to see them move the ball. Little momentum. They run that power I formation. That was a fake handoff up the middle for a QB run around the left side. And we've got Messina taking the call to the huddle. Huddle is broken. Another power formation, Messina under center. Handoff is to Ortiz up the middle. He's carrying about 3 Fredonia football players with him as he's tackled right about the 25, 26-yard line.
No, perfect night here with regards to weather. You know, in the past, there's been wind, there's been rain, there's been lightning, and of course now very little. If you look at the flag, just a little bit of wind blowing into Dunkirk's face, but not enough to really make any play on the ball. So this is perfect scenario.
Absolutely.
For football tonight.
Messina back under center. Motion right. False start.
Yeah,
Flags
I think they're
are
good
on
for
the
false
play.
start,
I saw that one from up here. All the referees.
Lots
saw
of yellow
that
in the
as well.
sky. There you go.
That's 3 penalties already on the night. I suppose that's not so bad.
Well, 2 of them against Fredonia.
Right, a big holding calls. Those could be some drive killers as they had some big, a 12 and a 45-yard run taken back.
Want to thank our cable access crew who are with us tonight.
Working hard for us.
Nice job.
Get the thumbs up for that. Nice shout out. Dunkirk breaks the huddle. We're back under center. That's Messina. Motion right again. Same formation as last play. And we have rolling right. Messina is going to look for his receiver. And it's completed.
Looks like he caught it. Yep.
Yeah, that's number 28, Peyton Alstrom, with a sliding catch. And he's going to be marked at the 28-yard line.
Well, Fredonia's really putting the pressure
Good play.
on, and it causes him to roll out either right or left. He has a tendency to roll to his right, and it's just a matter of time before defensive coordinators start looking at that and start putting their double teams over towards the right side of the field. They've run consistently either up the middle or off to the left side of the offensive line.
That's the first pass play of this drive. 3rd and 2. Messina back under center.
Tight set.
Tight set. There's a quick pitch. That's Ortiz. Nice spin move.
I think he got a first down.
Looks like he's marked at the 32. The line judge all the way across at the Fredonia sideline has him at the 32. And that's another Dunkirk first down.
So first down on 32. They started, Drew, on the 9-yard line. So they're slowly, methodically making their way up the field. And that's what you want. Try to maintain that ball possession as there's 5:26 and the clock is rolling in the first quarter. Fredonia
Seems
leads
as if that's what they're built for. They run that tight formation with all those blockers. They go back to that formation again here on first down. We have a handoff again to Ortiz as he breaks through the offensive line to the 34-yard line roughly, maybe a 2-yard.
Well, they've
I'm
actually
sorry, that's the 37-yard line.
They've actually thrown about 3 different formations in the back. That time they had the single back. They had the I formation before that, and they'll do a 2 setback in play before that. So it's traditional run, and one pass, as you said, and that pass was a sliding catch. So far they seem to found, maybe they shook those butterflies that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
That's right. 2nd and 5 coming up. Hand off to Ortiz again. This time the defensive line breaks through, and a nice stop behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe they gave him 1 yard.
Nice lead block by
stop.
number 23, Jose Camacho, to open up that hole.
Running game seems to be working here. They came out with 3 pass plays on their first possession, and they were forced to punt. They are run heavy here in their second possession. They're moving the ball. Now they're up to the 40-yard line, and like you said, they started back at their 9-10-yard line. We have a crucial 3rd and 3 already here in the first quarter. As Messina goes under center, we have 3 in the I formation in the backfield. Quick pitch to Ortiz. Ortiz is grabbed immediately behind the line of scrimmage by a yard, and he has stood up. That's number 56, Yaniel Acevedo, breaking through the defensive line, and he stops him for no gain.
Well, that is a critical time to be able to do that, and that's his second play for a loss. He had one down by the 9-yard line.
Right. Now we're in 4th and 2, and what are we looking at?
4th and 2, and you're on your own side of the field.
And it looks as if they're going to give this one a go.
So 4th and 2, and Dunkirk is going for it on their own side of the field, just inside the 50 on the 40-yard line.
Tight formation once again. There's the snap to Messina, gives it to Ortiz. Ortiz pushing his way. We're going to have to wait and see where they spot this ball. We have a quick spot here at the 42-yard line.
3 players in there, including Dalton Gardner, who is in on that.
Now we're going to have to see. They might have to come
Kelmer
out and bring the chains out to get a measurement for us. That was a tough run, and he really worked for that 2 yards. And
Alex Christie and Joe Gallo in on that as well.
No signal yet from the referees.
Well, they knew they were coming, and they knew that they were going to come with a run. But I think they might just be a little bit short. We'll see.
I think he got it. So we'll go 50-50 here. Someone's going to be
Your
right.
eyesight's probably better than mine at this point.
All right. What is the call? First down, Dunkirk.
There you go.
Okay. No glasses necessary
I would
here.
have sworn that they had him back there, but
that was a tough run by Ortiz. He really earned that. The thing is, he leaned forward, I think, when he was tackled, and that probably helped him get the spot.
Well, he's tall. In fact, you look at the offense as we stand here, he's the tallest man on the offense.
Right.
So if he can fall forward and lean forward, he's going to be able to.
All right, 1st and 10, Dunkirk. Just less than 3 minutes to go. Messina under center with Ortiz in the backfield. Man in motion to the left. Fake handoff. Messina rolls to his left. He's looking for 23. That was Jose Camacho. Wasn't available, and we have a sack. Flag on the play as well, so we have an immediate loss of yardage for Dunkirk and a flag pending. We'll see what they have.
Fredonia had 3 wins this year, and out of those 3, 2 of the 3 were 4th quarter comebacks. So they're in an unusual position for them this year, where they have an 8-point lead already in the first quarter. But Dunkirk is finding a way to move the ball, and let's see what this flag will be.
Quite the conversation they're having down there, trying to make sure they get it right. A play like that, which has the run design with a fake, typically you probably see a holding call. Only looked like one receiver was out for the pass. The flag is out near where the pass was intended, so that could mean something. But we also have a flag in the middle of the field near where the offensive line was. So this could be
officials have been.
This could be holding on both sides.
It's good for Fredonia. Hold against Fredonia.
We have a hold on Fredonia, so that's defensive holding. Oh.
Wow, this is a big one.
Foul. Yeah, look at this.
That wasn't a hold. That couldn't have been a hold.
He called, I overheard a personal foul on the play.
Was roughing the passer, was that it?
That might have been something they saw
That is a big break, and that's what the Marauders needed. I mean, that call automatically puts the ball on the opposite side of the field.
Right. 35-yard line in Fredonia territory. I formation again, first down, Dunkirk. Quick handoff to Ortiz. Ortiz has a big hole as he bursts through and tackled down just inside the 20-yard line. That's Dalton Gardner with the tackle, but that's a great run for Ortiz as he comes off the left side of the line.
Great run. The offensive line opened up a very nice hole. And Dalton was the lone tackler on that
Last
play
man
as well.
standing.
Yeah.
First down, Dunkirk. Inside the 20-yard line, marked at the 18-yard line with just over 2 minutes to go.
2 wide receivers to the right.
Another I formation with 2 receivers to the right. We have a flag on the play.
I think the Dunkirk
I
receiver
saw that
jumped
too.
off.
That looked like it was a false start by one of those wide receivers. We'll wait for the official call
number
here.
28 on that is Peyton Ulstrom. Looks like
Quick
he
jump on the play.
just took a little bit of a step. I'm sure you saw that on your screen.
We're going to march that back 5 yards for 1st and 15.
Our viewers probably saw it before we did, thanks to the excellent camera work.
Bird's eye view. All right, this is 2 wide receivers out to the left, 1 to the right, I formation in the backfield. Messina under center. Quick handoff again to a stumbling Ortiz as he couldn't quite get his footing as he gets maybe a yard.
Looked
Gives
like
him
he
2.
might have just, that first step, looked like he
Tripped
rolled
him
his
up.
ankle just a little bit and tripped over his own weight, took him down.
2nd down and 13 coming up for Dunkirk. Just outside the red zone.
1 minute, 17 seconds, and the clock is rolling in this first quarter.
Again, I have to mention, this drive started back at the 10-yard line for Dunkirk, so they've made quite the move down the field as they are set, lined up. Messina under center once again. Fake handoff, Messina off to the right. He's running, looking for a man open. Had somebody in the end zone, but couldn't quite make the throw. Has to go
Flag on a play.
down for a slide. We do have a flag just outside, and I'm telling you, Mike, that's another one of those personal foul penalties for a late hit.
I think so.
What my prediction is.
Quarterback was smart. Not only did he run with the ball, but he slid, and as he was sliding, well, the Fredonia players hit him, and I'm sure it was a high hit, and that was going to be a personal foul, which is going to move that ball very close to the goal line.
He got back to the original line of scrimmage from the Ortiz run. It is official now, a personal foul on Fredonia. They're going to march that ball to the 9-yard line. So we have 1st and goal with 51 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Dunkirk has the ball. 9 yards to gain for a touchdown. And this is their second, technically, red zone trip of the night, but this is the closest we've seen either of these teams line up for a
Well, as in
play.
any sport, silly penalties cost you.
Absolutely, and that's 3 right now on Fredonia.
That last penalty could cost
some points.
The Billies.
Absolutely.
6 points or more.
That's a fake handoff up the middle as Messina runs it out to the left side, quickly wrapped up. Looks like he's at the line of scrimmage. He might have gained 1 yard as he leans forward.
He's dropped there by Nick Whitfield Jr., starting quarterback.
Clock ticking down under 30 seconds. Wonder if Dunkirk will be content to let it run or if they will try to run one more.
Both Whitfield and Putney are listed at 6'5".
Tall.
Pretty tall.
Young.
And they've got a couple of players, well over 6'6" for Farnham, 6'4" for Skinner and Martinez.
We have a junior, a sophomore that are both at 6'5" on the Fredonia side.
Let's go wrap up the first quarter.
End of the first quarter. So Dunkirk driving late in the first quarter as it winds down to an end. They have the ball at the 9-yard line, and they're going to start the second quarter on the other end of the field.
Well, we talked about the importance of possession and possessing that ball, and Dunkirk ran off at least the last 4 minutes of that quarter.
Easily.
And as you said, starting at the 9 or 10 yard line. But Fredonia didn't help their cause with two costly penalties that were personal fouls.
On the same play.
Yeah, and it just has gotten Dunkirk all the way down to the 9-yard line, and that's where they're going to start this second quarter.
I thought before the game, discipline will show itself in a game like this where a lot of all these players, regardless of whether they're seniors, sophomores, juniors, they're pumped up, they're amped up, they want to get out there and they want to make a play, and they want to make a play for not only themselves, their team, but the fans for their towns. You know, this is a huge rival. This is the 127th edition of this game. We didn't really see it to start, but, you know, a couple of those plays maybe just got away from them during that last, or this continuing drive for Dunkirk as Fredonia throws those penalties up there. But
well, Mike Sartori had a chance to talk to his charges there and his offensive side. Took him off to the side, and of course, I'm sure that he has scripted at least the first 2 plays of this drive.
2nd down and 9. It's actually 2nd and goal with 9 yards to go.
We're starting off the second quarter of this game. First one went by pretty fast.
A lot of runs. Messina under center on 2nd down. He's going to hand that off to Ortiz. Ortiz met at the line by number 89, big Jake Skinner. He's going to gain a couple yards on that play. Looks like he's going to be marked down at the 5-yard line.
Well, they rocked him right at you could see his chest and his head went back on the initial hit, and he just drove his legs to pick up those extra yards. And
tough run.
Tough run indeed.
And again, falling forward for those extra yards. I think that happened on one of those 3rd down plays. Definitely happened on that 4th and 2. Let's not forget that big play back in Dunkirk's own territory as Dunkirk's ready to go again. Messina. Another flag on the play. We're going to stop this play before it gets underway.
It will be on Dunkirk.
What'd you see? False start? Well, no point in guessing as we're going to get the call eventually. False start is the call. From the 5-yard line to the 10-yard line, that's going to be 3rd and goal. The scoreboard is reading 1st and 5. I'm not sure who's more confused, if it's me or the person holding the sign, but I believe. Mike, what's your take on this? Says it's 1st.
I'm trying to figure it out myself at this point.
Interesting. I'll stop being confused and just call the plays here as Ortiz takes the ball up the middle. He's gang tackled again. It looks like he gained that yardage back from that penalty.
Yeah, it is 2nd down now.
About the 5-yard line. Okay. So now we're saying it's 2nd down.
Don't forget they did it. They weren't. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But did go back to a 1st down.
The referees know what they're doing, so they've got this under control. We'll just call what we see. Messina runs to the huddle. 2nd down and 5 from the 5 for Dunkirk as they look to cap off this would-be 90-yard drive. We've got a power formation in the backfield. Messina, quick handoff to Ortiz as he's not going down easily, and there's the signal. Touchdown, Dunkirk. 90-yard drive capped off by a 5-yard run. That's Chris Ortiz powering his way into the end zone to make this a 8-6 game. First score of the night for Dunkirk.
Now, the question is, do you try to tie the game?
I think they will.
Or do you put one up and hope that you can get the ball back relatively quickly?
I'm going to say, based on what we're looking at, Messina's coming from the sideline with a play. They're going to go for 2, try to tie this game up with 10:23 remaining in the second quarter. And that's what we're going to have. At least they're going to line up like they're going to go for it. Messina's under center with 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 in the backfield. We have a timeout called on the field. That's Dunkirk. That is likely to be a 30-second timeout. They want to talk this over a little bit before they run the play. I like the call. Go for 2. Why not?
Oh, sure. I mean, you got plenty of time right now. We have an
Tons
entire
of time
second
left
half
in
and
this game.
10:23 left in this quarter alone, so that's good.
90 yards for a drive. Pretty impressive. Fredonia did certainly help them get down there, but some hard running by Ortiz, some good play calls by Saratori, but
that's what we talked about beforehand. Everything that's happened all season long is off the table right now. You know what their tendencies may be. You know how they coach. You know, Saratori
a lot of film.
Knows what he's doing as well as Fredonia, and so this is a different ball game now. It doesn't matter what the rest of it. It's homecoming. It's senior night. It's big for both teams, and it's a crosstown rivalry. And I think they've been playing off of that all week.
Nothing left in the playbook. Lining up for the two-point conversion, 2 out to the left again. Another quick handoff to Ortiz. He's not going down easily. Once again, leaning forward. There's the signal. He's in for 2. Dunkirk Marauders, 90-yard touchdown score, capped off by a 2-point conversion as Chris Ortiz powers his way through the offensive line into the end zone. 8-8 after back-to-back scoring drives. Correct me.
Mike Ferguson, Drew Yelich, live from Dunkirk, Carl Hepner Field.
Beautiful night here.
It's a great night, and really, if you look at the field goals, you look at the goalpost, there's not much of a breeze. So
there's
from a
not
kicking
much.
game, which we're both kind of surprised, both teams, their initial kickoffs were only within the 40-yard line. So they were playing in between the 40s for a good portion of the first quarter. And now it's a tie score, 8-8. 10:23 left before halftime. And we'll see what Fredonia can do when they get the ball back.
Fredonia's last possession wasn't a score. I have to correct myself. They punted away. It was a good punt. That's what got them back to the 10-yard line. But some notable plays on that last Fredonia drive were 2 good runs called back by holding calls.
Well, the most notable thing there, besides the fact that Dunkirk's ball possession, Fredonia's 2 glaring personal fouls that led and certainly helped that touchdown.
An early penalty advantage going to Dunkirk. Kick is returned at the 15-yard line. Again, that's number 3. That's Dalton Gardner. He's not going to go down easily here as he carries it out past the 40-yard line to the 45-yard line into the Dunkirk sidelines as he
Barreto finally got him out of bounds.
Pushed him out of bounds. That's a pretty good return as he came all the way across the field. So he added a couple extra yards to his run. It looks like it's going to officially be a 30-yard run back. And he probably turned a 30-yard run back into 30 extra yards for himself for 60. But nevertheless, we're going to have a first down and 10 for Fredonia at the 45-yard line. Again, Mike, we've got Fredonia starting with the ball with less than 60 yards to go.
Right.
We'll see how this play call goes as we've got a shotgun formation. Fake handoff to the left. Handoff goes to Gardner to the right. Another huge hole
He's gone again.
for Gardner, and he's going to go untouched into the end zone with what looked like a jog by the time he was 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. And that's the second time he's
touchdown.
run it from outside of 50 yards, this time being a 55-yarder. As Fredonia answers Dunkirk's touchdown within 10 seconds of having the ball to take a 14-8 lead.
One play.
But going back again to Fredonia's possession where they had to punt it away. Big penalties brought them back because Gardner did the same thing on the left side. Ran the ball all the way down to the 15-yard line, brought it back.
They will go for 2 as well.
It looks like we're going to have an exciting game here with these scores. I like the going for 2. Pass play here as Whitfield looks to the end zone. Had his man wide open and
right through the hands.
Right through his hands into his face mask. He's probably not too happy about that. He knows he's going to get that one back later in this game. 14-8 with 10:05 left here in the second quarter. Fredonia not taking much time with the ball. You have to think their defense was just on the field for a pretty lengthy drive, 90 yards in total and probably upwards of 6 minutes off the clock. That's a long time to be on the field.
Well, you look at, Whitfield really had a lot of speed on that ball. And you can't get too upset with Gardner. He's just scored both touchdowns for the night so far. And but it did go right through his hands. He wasn't able to get his hands around it. But nice pass by them. And let's see if Dunkirk can answer back once again. So no 2-point conversion on that one. Fredonia leads 14-8 at 10:05 left in the second quarter.
So another correction here, 59 is kicking off. That's actually A.J. St. George, not previously mentioned Kyle McCullough. Back for Dunkirk, we have once again number 7, number 8, Mark Milliman and Alex Ahlstrom. Football is on the tee. So he's going to walk this back, get his distances right. St. George ready to kick this off. 14-8 Fredonia. Kick is off. Hits the legs of Dunkirk's number 3, Jashawn Kauser, if I'm saying that one right, and the ball's down at the 22-yard line. So Dunkirk with a 78 yards left to go for a score here, as they're going to have their ball back after scoring off a 90-yard drive.
Smart play by Ahlstrom to just jump on that ball.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that ball was live once it hit his hand, his teammate's hands. He was quick enough to jump on
late or deep in their own territory off a kickoff like that. A lot of runs last drive for Dunkirk as they line up again in that power I formation. Messina under center. Nobody flanked outside. Quick handoff again to Ortiz. Ortiz goes right up the middle. Ball's out and picked up by Fredonia. That's a fumble by Ortiz. It's officially recovered and going the other way for Fredonia. That's number 21, Dom Gullo, with the heads-up play. Scoops it up and gains back about 5 yards from where the ball was dropped. I just mentioned having a costly mistake off that kickoff, what could have been. And Dunkirk gives the ball back, marked at the 23-yard line. So Fredonia's offense, which has had a quick score, goes quickly back onto the field as they...
Well, the Gullo clan well represented. You've got Anthony Gullo, you've got Joe Gullo, you've got Joe Gullo III out there as well.
Quick handoff again to Gardner off to the left side. He's got another big hole, but he's brought down this time as he does not go untouched.
Let's see, you got
inside
Anthony,
the 10-yard line.
Joe, Dom, and Joe the Third.
All the Gullos.
All the Gullos on the team this year.
Another first down for Fredonia. We've got a timeout called on the field by Dunkirk, as they need to draw something up to make a big-time stop here, as we've got 1st and goal.
So big break for the Billies, but Dunkirk certainly has the defense to be able to turn that tide, but we'll find out exactly what happens.
I was going to say, it seems as if these holes are opening wide open for them coming off the edges for Fredonia. They're running a lot of sweep plays. We haven't seen them go up the middle very much yet. They're making all their hay on the off the tackles and going out wide. Dunkirk needs to come up with some recipe to stop that. We've got 9 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second quarter. 14-8 Fredonia. And the ball's on the 8-yard line. It's 1st and goal for Fredonia, threatening another score. They scored in about 8 seconds last time they had the ball. This time, this is their second play now, as they ran for about 15 yards on that last play. Dunkirk with the timeout. Players are back on the field, lined up in. Whitfield is going to go under center this time. This is the first time we've seen him under center tonight. 2 backs in the backfield, but he's going to drop back to pass. He's carrying that ball outside like a loaf of bread. And Dunkirk with some great pressure.
Dropped.
A flag on the play. A would-be sack negated by a quick throwaway by Whitfield. That's number 7, Mark Milliman. Great defensive play.
That is a. I'd have to question that call.
Now, that's
I didn't think he had thrown him to the ground at all. That was.
I don't think that's the call. I think he's going to
grounding.
get the intentional grounding for that.
Yeah.
So there was no receiver in the area, and the line to gain was the line of scrimmage was the 8-yard line. So you have to advance it at least there. So they're going to march him back from the 20-yard line, which I believe was the spot of the foul. So Fredonia does a no huddle here. We get the no huddle for Fredonia, and an intentional grounding was officially the call. So it's still a goal-to-go situation here, but we're going to have the ball back at the 25-yard line for Fredonia. Man in motion goes from right to left. Whitfield's going to carry the ball to the left. He has a couple blockers, but not many, and Dunkirk is quick to wrap him up. Again, in on the play is Milliman as he tracks down Whitfield for maybe a 1-yard, 2-yard gain at most, and he will get 2 officially. 23-yard line is where the ball will be marked for a 3rd and goal. Whitfield has some wheels, but that Milliman, he tracked him down like that. That guy can fly. 9 minutes to go here. Whitfield in the shotgun with Skinner going from his right to the left in motion. Gardner gets the ball on a quick handoff. He's going to be tackled this time inside the 20-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 23-yard line.
Joel Burgos almost had Gardner in the back and actually had one, just missed his ankle, slipped out of his hand, and would have had him for a loss, and a good pickup by Gardner.
So it's 4th and goal from the 23-yard line. Fredonia going from the shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers, right.
2 left and 2
2
right.
left.
Yeah.
So we have a pass to the end zone. And we have a flag on the play, and I think we all saw it. Now, I know we're on the Dunkirk side, and they're calling for no flag there, but what do you think about that one, Mike?
Oh, I think definitely Peter Pedres Jr. Was the offending player on that.
The notable thing
play.
I saw there was he didn't have his head turned. He was making contact with the receiver. And that was Troy Lansky going up for the ball. Lansky's another one of those over 6 foot tall players, and he had a chance for that ball, but I think I'm going to have to agree with that call there.
So again, penalties end up making a difference.
Yep, they're extending drives here for both teams.
Are they moving the ball at all?
So I believe that they've already moved the ball half the distance to the goal. We've got a timeout for Fredonia. So the ball's marked at the 9-yard line. We don't have an official signal for... they are not going to change the down, so I'm assuming, and it's probably not the best thing to do, but having not flipped to first down for that penalty, we're going to have another 4th down play, 4th and goal from the 9-yard line. Do they?
It looks like that. Well, you would think it was half the distance. It would have been.
Was that going to be an automatic first down?
No, it will be 4th down.
Okay. So 4th and goal from the 9-yard line. So now this is different than being at the 23-yard line. So I think what's just happened here is, it looks like they're at the 9-yard line. They marked him down with that pass interference play. So you had a deep pass for he's throwing the ball from the 30-yard line when he eventually has the ball. That's a pretty deep throw. Now you've only got about 15 yards to throw it. Do you throw it or do you go back to your run? That's been your bread and butter so far.
Well, you've got 3 to the left, 1 to the right, so they're going to the air.
He's got it. He's going to roll to his left. He's going to look to throw. He's got a man in the end zone. He just overthrows him. Pass intended for Lansky. He was the intended passer, receiver on the last 4th down play.
And of course, it's easy for us to sit back here and say this guy was open, that guy open, and Skinner's open in the end zone. And of course, when you're getting chased, it's very, very difficult. Got a man down on the field right now.
Being tended to by the medical team. Ball's going to be turned over to Dunkirk. And they're going to start again deep in their own territory, 9-yard line.
8:17 left in the first half. Fredonia leading 14-8, both touchdowns coming off of runs from Dalton Gardner.
That's right.
And this player will walk off on his own power.
All right, good to see him up.
Holding his right wrist. That's tough. Could have gotten hit by a helmet, could have gotten caught between a couple of players.
That's
There's
Juan
different
Rosado?
scenarios. Yes.
All right, he looks to be laboring a little bit. We'll hope for his return.
And when it's chilly out, every little ding like that hurts just a little bit more.
Right, we are moments away from resuming play. Messina getting the calls. He's going to take it to the huddle. Fumble on the last drive. Didn't even get them out of their own territory. Fredonia unable to capitalize on it. Messina under center with the power I formation in the backfield. Another handoff to Ortiz. Give it right back to the man. And he's going to get some yardage.
You know, keep in mind, Drew, that the last scoring drive for Dunkirk also started on the 9-yard line.
That's right, 90 yards they went, and it took them a long time. It took a lot of time off the clock, and I'd be willing to bet that they want to do the same thing right here with just less than 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, they took about 4.5 minutes off last time, and they've got a little under 8 minutes now, so they've got plenty of time on the clock. And again, they moved it methodically with a lot of runs, and I believe
That's right.
only 1 or 2 passes that last time.
I had a tally down for 3 intended pass plays. I think 1 turned into a QB run. He ran out of real estate. Handoff is to Ortiz. Ortiz breaks through the line, and it looks like he's going to have enough yardage for the first down. He's going to be marked at the 21-yard line. And that is a first down, Marauders, with 7 minutes and 28 seconds left in the second quarter. Exactly what Dunkirk was looking for, out of the shadows of their own goalposts. Messina in the huddle giving the play. Now there is no time issue here for Dunkirk. They don't have to rush down the field. There's no need for hurry-up offense. And they're going to be content in going to the huddle. Now another quick handoff to Ortiz. Ortiz breaks a tackle in the backfield. He switches hands. He's off and running past the 30, past the 20. No one's going to catch him. He's going to trot into the end zone. Ortiz, Chris Ortiz for the Dunkirk Marauders, runs it 79 yards for the touchdown as Dunkirk has tied the score 14-14.
Absolutely amazing. They were able to come off that left side of the offensive line, right side if you're on defense, and just run right through the Fredonia defenders. And just very, very nice run. And we've got a tie ball game with 6:53 to go. And no doubt Dunkirk will try to go for those 2 points again.
Now that's a great play to see too, because you think back to that last possession for Dunkirk. Ortiz on the very first play drops the ball. Fredonia has an opportunity to scoop it up and go in for a score, which they weren't able to do, but they gave it right back to him 3 times in a row,
well,
and it pays off.
The importance of that 2-point conversion in the beginning of the game.
That
Fredonia didn't make it. They'd be down by 2 right now. Right now they're tied, and if Dunkirk had made theirs, they'd be up by 2 at this point. So those extra points, the 2-point conversions, very, very important and could certainly change the outcome of the game.
No doubt about that. Now you have to think too, what kind of kicking teams do they have? Is there anybody able to do it? We've seen a couple kickoffs that have barely gotten off the ground.
Yeah.
So
everything has
really
been within
know.
the 30s, and then
Right.
then it plays within the 40s on the return. So
be interesting to see late in the game.
The deepest
What kind of kick teams we have?
The deepest beginnings have both been by Dunkirk,
right?
And they weren't because of a kickoff. One was because of a punt, and the other was because of penalties. So actually recovering the ball.
Right. The turnover on downs from that incomplete pass from the 9-yard line. So that's 181 yards on 2 scoring drives for Dunkirk. This drive did not take as much time off the clock, just about 2 minutes. But still, that's a lot of yards to gain for their scoring drives. Now, we've seen 3 touchdowns from outside of 50 yards, 1 for 79, 1 for 60, and 1 for 55. That play right there for 79 yards for Ortiz. He broke a tackle in the backfield. They had him, but he was able to break through. And then once he got past that line of scrimmage, no one was going to catch him. So here we have a 2-point conversion play, 14-14. Dunkirk going to do a fake handoff. Messina's going to keep it himself. He's got the edge. He's going to dive for the pylon. Official with the signal here. In.
He's got it.
2 points. Messina with the all hustle play as he keeps it himself off the fake dive, carries it around that left end, and dives in, getting that ball just inside the pylon, even knocking it over. 16-14, Dunkirk takes the lead with 6 minutes and 53 seconds left in the second quarter.
Good as a tradition here in Dunkirk of the cheerleaders.
Push-ups.
Do their push-ups. Got 16 now.
Reminds me, I need to start doing those.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I did one
They're
of
doing
those
more than
once.
I can do. Yeah. Putting me to shame. All right, so that's a pretty good response there.
I'm surprised
yeah,
the Fredonia
we don't
cheerleaders
see
did not
them.
make the trip tonight.
We don't see them.
They may be in attendance.
We've got the away stands. All right, they're pretty filled over there.
Pretty full. The hill's filling up again still to this
That's
point.
right.
And we're back to action.
Dunkirk running out, getting ready to kick this ball off. Again, we haven't seen, we've only seen one kick from Dunkirk go past the 40-yard line. That one was actually returned by Gardner to the 45-yard line, and he capped it off with a 55-yard touchdown.
Barretto going to kick off.
Back with Gardner, is Dom Gullo. We'll see which side they elect to kick to, if they do even choose a side. They're going to go to Fredonia's left side. It's going to go out of bounds. Smart play by Fredonia's number 72 to duck out of that way there. That was Andrew Camp, it looked like.
Looks like it's about the 21, 22-yard line.
Right, now we do have a flag on the play. I believe that's an illegal procedure. But maybe they just re-kick. And that looks like what we're going to have here. So instead of the... Okay, here's the official call. We've got the illegal procedure. They're going to move the kickoff back. So instead of 15 yards like you would traditionally see in higher level competitions in football, they're just going to mark him back and have him re-kick.
Well, the ball has to stay in bounds on the kickoff, but the punt, that's what you're trying to do, is angle that ball out onto the corners, get as close to the goal line as you possibly can.
All right, Barretto ready to kick this off to Gardner and Gullo. This time he's going to squib this one. It's going to land about the 40-yard line. Scooped up. Oh, he's going to call it down as Schrader for Fredonia scoops it at the 30, but it looks like his knee was down when he picked it up. So, good field position again for Fredonia, but oddly not as good as what they've started so far here today. This is the first time they're outside of 60 yards to start a drive. So they're going to have to go 70 yards for a potential score. Now, Fredonia's run game's been excellent. They've been gashing from either side, left to right, on a lot of sweeps. Dunkirk hasn't quite dialed it up, but their red zone defense stifled Fredonia as they weren't able to punch it in from a great opportunity as first and goal from the 9. Whitfield on 1st and 10 in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers right. Gullo's going to move from his left to his right. Quick handoff is to Gardner. Gardner is going to break it up the middle. He's going to break 3 tackles. He's going to bounce it out to the left side. He's got a blocker downfield.
He's gone.
And he's going off to the races. Number 6 for Dunkirk. That's Peter Paredes. He's going to chase him down, push him. The official call is a touchdown on the field. Gardner, another run from outside of 50. This time it's 70 yards as he breaks tackles this time opposed to his untouched runs. That's 3 broken tackles as he broke through the middle of the offensive line out to his left side, went down that Fredonia sideline, and he's able to dive into the end zone as only one Marauder was able to track him down.
Sean Farnham and Lansky and others, great job of blocking downfield. All he had to do was follow his blockers, and he did a great job of doing that. And then just got ahead of his blockers and defenders and ran it in for his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Great burst of speed. Excellent ability to break tackles. 2 receivers open in the
Beautiful
corner of the
catch.
end zone. This time, Fredonia is going to complete the
Lansky.
pass. Lansky again, the target in the corner of the end zone as we have a successful 2-point conversion for Fredonia. And just like that, it's 22-16 as we're playing the repeat game up here in the booth.
Lansky just up in the air and just caught that, landed on his back and just maintained. You know, when you're that high up in the air and you're coming down on your back, the ability to keep that ball in
That's
and
tough.
keep it in your hands is difficult. And just a classic play and a 22-16 lead.
Exciting first half so far. 6 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
You know, this has been a bit of a tough start or season for Fredonia. This is the first year in the Class C, and it really has made a difference. Big loss for them last week.
Now, is that up from Class
Good
D?
opponent. Yeah, they're in the South Division too, which is a little bit more competitive.
Southwestern's
so
strong team.
They lost last week to Portville 20-6, which essentially kept them out of any
playoff
postseason
competition
action.
Well, I know that nothing will be lost on this game. This one feels like a playoff game for both teams, as neither team wants to lose.
Sartori is going to be losing a lot of seniors this year, but he's got a great group of young players coming up behind him, as you can see in today's play as well.
Fielded at the 15-yard line. Dunkirk's going to run it up to about the 38, 39-yard line. That's Mark Milliman on the carry.
Nice return.
Absolutely. You think about their field position. Again, you know, we're talking about how they've started deep in their own territory for their 2 touchdown drives. This is great field position for them as they're going to start out near the 40-yard line. Only less than 65 yards to go. Now, it was methodical on their first drive, and it was quick on that last run with Ortiz busting a 79-yarder for the touchdown. We have a man down on the field.
And if you look at it, Drew, it was just a minute and a half ago that we talked about Dunkirk having the ball down on the 9-yard line. So in a minute and a half, the ball's exchanged hands
with 2
both
scores.
teams and a score.
A total of 16 points in that last minute and a half put on the board, as that's Camacho coming off the field as he looks to be just limping a little bit.
So it looks like he's got a bit of a groin pull in the right leg. Might have got a stinger or just pulled something. Easy to do when it's cool night out, so he'll sit with the trainer.
Dunkirk entering the field, ready to start their next drive from the 39-yard line with 6 minutes and 28 seconds left to go. It's 22-16 Fredonia. An I formation for Dunkirk. Messina to Ortiz with the handoff up the middle. Small gain there as he's going to pick up 2 yards. Second down and 8 coming up as the clock is going to start winding down. Six minutes left here. 22-16. Second and 7 for Dunkirk. Another power I formation. Ortiz deep in the backfield. Messina under center. He's going to hand it off to Ortiz. He's got a gaping.
He goes.
He plows right
there
through it. He's not going down easy.
Oh, he's down.
A great run, and brought down by Joe Gullo. We'll see where they mark it.
So both offensive, getting the ball rocking and rolling, but
run games are working.
It's up to the defenses to find the key. They have not, neither team has been able to find a defensive answer to 2 outstanding running backs tonight.
Ortiz is breaking a lot of tackles. He's a big body to have to bring down, and that's another one of those plays where you think that he might be down near that line of scrimmage, and he just bursts through.
Well, 6'3", 200 pounds.
That's a big guy. That's
a big guy.
Hard to bring down.
On the other side, we talked about Dalton Gardner, 5'10" and 170.
Right.
Gardner's just pure speed. Chris has a little bit of speed, and that big he just drives with those legs, as we saw on the one play down near the goal line. He just picked up the first down by just driving his legs. Strong player.
Two different styles of run games going on here.
1st and 10.
Had a timeout on the play. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for Dunkirk. Dunkirk in the power I. Messina to Ortiz. This time wrapped up just past the line of scrimmage. He's going to lean forward again and gain 3 yards on the play.
Brought down that time by number 70, Nick Lilly for the Billies.
It's one of those plays where there's just too many bodies to be able to get through, and we've seen him break through a bunch of tackles, but it's hard to do when you don't have any footing and you've got too many people surrounded. Just over 5 minutes and counting down. Messina under center. Hand off to Ortiz. Ortiz met immediately in the backfield by Yaniel Acevedo. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down for Dunkirk.
And he wrapped him up right there.
Right there on the line of scrimmage is he going to get back to. 27-yard line. You'd have to think this is probably 4-down territory. We've talked a little bit about the kicking game and how it's been mostly absent. We'll see. They'll have to convert here on 3rd down if they don't want to have a tough decision on 4th. As Dunkirk breaks the huddle and gets to the line of scrimmage. Messina is going to make a fake handoff to Ortiz. He's got a wide receiver running out to his right. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be brought down out of bounds just past the line of scrimmage by my eye. We'll see what the referee has to say about that. He might have gained a yard. Regardless, we're going to move on to 4th down. Now, they've run that play before. It's a bootleg to the right with Messina. Now, Messina has a good arm. He can throw it. But his wide receivers are blanketed each time. And he's unable to make any attempt at making a pass. That's the 2nd time he's had to do that. Last time there was a personal foul on the play deep in Fredonia's territory. So in the huddle they are right now. Dunkirk's going to line up to go for it as they look for Messina to line up under center. 4th and 6.
Dunkirk actually with a better record this year at 4-2.
4-2, that's right.
Where Fredonia ended up 3-3 and out of the playoffs. Both teams.
Okay, we have a 4th down play. It looks like it was busted. And Fredonia's going to stop Dunkirk on 4th down. We've exchanged now 2 turnovers on downs.
Well, you had the option to roll out there and pitch it out to Ortiz, but you had a Dunkirk Fredonia defender getting in between them, and I think he just decided, better not take that chance. Those are tricky plays when you're trying to flip it out to your back. And if you've got a quick enough defensive player, that could either be picked off or knocked down.
That one looked to me like there was a little bit of confusion.
That's
I want to say that there was a fake handoff intended from Messina, that he was on the wrong side of the ball, and then Ortiz was out too far at that point. So little miscommunication on the play. Nevertheless, we've got Fredonia 1st down. Fredonia, that's Gardner again, number 3 for Fredonia as he breaks through the left side of the line, untouched. Finally is touched. He's going to come into the end zone and jukes into the end zone. Okay,
unbelievable.
So a horrible description on my end as I'm trying to identify players that he just ran around.
I think he ran through the entire Marauder defense at that point.
He broke through the offensive line. Dalton Gardner did on
just
the left
all
side,
speed.
untouched. Got inside Dunkirk's territory. The safety went in to make the tackle. He broke that tackle. Cuts back from the left side to the right side, all the way across the field. One defender to beat. He's got to beat Jamari Terry, and he does, as he jukes from one side to the other.
Well, that's just, you said jukes from one side to the other. He was able to do it while running at full speed.
Right, in the opposite direction. So 28-16, Fredonia's going to go for 2 once again. Whitfield's going to fake it.
He's got it.
He faked me out and runs it out to the left side and tags on 2 more points for Fredonia. We've got a 14-point Fredonia lead with just under 4 minutes to go, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. 30-16 Fredonia as another quick score.
So how many points between the two teams right now? So 14 or 21 points in the last 3 minutes.
It's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting. This is just the
And-
first half of football.
And with that said, that's also including 2 turnovers on downs.
Yeah.
One with Fredonia inside the 10-yard line, and one with Dunkirk threatening inside the 30-yard line.
Well, this is right now. If you're looking solely at the first 2 quarters, it's who can stop the other team's running back, and so far,
Neither.
neither team's been able to do that.
All right, 30-16 Fredonia. St. George is pressing the ball, getting ready to kick it off as we are nearing the end of the second quarter. A lot of scoring drives here in the second quarter. First quarter went by pretty quickly. This one seems to be stopping quite a bit more as they've had a few more possessions each.
Let's see if they can't get that ball a little bit further downfield this time, although that hasn't seemed to stop Dunkirk at this point.
We've got a kick down the middle, scooped up. That's going to be Milliman. He's going to have a good return on that one once again. He's back up to the 38, maybe the 39. Again, scooped up at the 15-yard line. These are good returns for Dunkirk.
Again, speed and also the ability to just shed tacklers.
No one's
just
going
a straight
down with
run,
an arm
so he did a
tackle
nice
tonight.
job. No.
So Dunkirk will have the ball at their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10, looking to answer back-to-back scores from Fredonia.
And, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. When they have the chance to wrap up a play, both teams have very good tackling techniques, extremely good tackling techniques. It's just, both these teams have a lot of speed, and that's tough to catch.
All right, Messina in a pistol formation. That's the first we've seen from him tonight. Is he going to keep it himself with the fake to Ortiz? A good gain on the play by Messina as he's going to get out past the sticks at about the 49-yard line. He looks to be a little bit rattled as he gets up. I think that he might have been hit in the back of his head, but he seems to be okay. Coach doesn't seem to be too worried, and he's going to take the call back to the huddle. First down, Dunkirk. A good run on the keeper from the pistol formation, first of its kind that we've seen here tonight from Dunkirk, as they're going to go back to it now with Ortiz behind Messina. We've got 2 wide receivers out to the right, one going from the left to the right in motion. Quick handoff to Ortiz. Ortiz up the middle at about the hash marks. He's going to gain about 4 yards on the play.
Nick Lilly again in on that tackle.
Just over 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Dunkirk moving into Fredonia territory. 2nd down and 6 from Fredonia's 47-yard line. As Dunkirk breaks the huddle. Back to that pistol formation. Seems to be the theme for this drive. We've got 2 out to the right. No motion this play. Quick pass play swatted down at the line of scrimmage. That's Matt Lauder getting his hands up and jumping to block that quick pass play. I like the play call there. Fredonia did that on the very first play of the game.
Right.
As they ran that screen out to Skinner, and that only got them about a yard, but Dunkirk going for that quick pass there on their first pass play in quite some time to no avail as the 3rd down's going to come up. Clock stops with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the second quarter, 30-16. Dunkirk's driving now into Fredonia territory, 47-yard line, 3rd down and 6.
Well, if you're a Yankees fan, you're a little bit happy right now. They're leading 4-1 in the 5th.
All right.
Against the Astros.
They needed it. It's an elimination game for them as the wide receiver is going to go from this left to right. That's Milliman. Quick handoff back as a cutback play. Milliman breaks the tackle in the backfield. He's wrapped up in the backfield now by the entire defense from Fredonia as he made a nice play to break through that first tackle. They did a little misdirection play as they moved him in motion from the left to the right. A little deception there. Looked as if he was going to be able to get through, but Fredonia swarmed as he tried after he broke that tackle, and we're going to be forced into a 4th and 11 for Dunkirk as it looks like they're going to bring the punt squad on with 2 minutes and counting left in the first half.
Joe Gullo was all over the quarterback on that one. He is a junior, 5'10", 170. Plays outside linebacker and running back as well. And just got in there, made the tackle. and
Good defensive
stop the
play.
progress. Whoa, a little
High snap on the play. Good kickoff, though, from Dunkirk. That would be Manuel Barreto. He's going to kick it all the way down, mark it down at the 15-yard line. So a nice change in field position for Dunkirk. That's what they're looking to do. See if they can't get a quick stop here and a quick score to go into halftime with a little momentum.
We want to thank Dunkirk resident Frank Perpelia for keeping us on top of everything happening with his New York Yankees tonight. So he just sent me a score update on my Fitbit here while we were on the air.
Well, there we go. Have to know. Minute and 39 seconds left in the second quarter. Fredonia versus Dunkirk here. Carl Hopner Athletic Field. Beautiful night. Shotgun. There's the snap off to Whitfield. He's going to quickly hand it off to, go figure, that's Gardner. Number 3. He has nowhere to go this time as Dunkirk's going to swarm him. And they're going to get him for maybe just about a no-yard gain. Now we have a play.
That's going to be a penalty on Fredonia. Ball was blown dead in number 56. Acevedo continued to run downfield with the ball.
Not really sure. I did not see that.
And it was blown dead, and he just kept running and running with the ball. Dunkirk player went over and tried to make a tackle, and he nailed him with his right shoulder.
All right, let's see what the referees will come to a conclusion for here.
So it's going to be a penalty against him.
Referees are going to congregate midfield and make a well-advised call here. I saw him running with the football after the play. I heard the whistle. I thought it was down. Not sure what he was running with the ball for. Maybe he thought it was a fumble. Maybe he didn't hear it. Maybe he's just getting a little extracurricular running in.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. So that's going to take the ball back.
Another big penalty on Fredonia.
Way back.
Haven't kept a tally, but that's at least their 6th penalty.
And their 3rd personal foul out of those.
So a little bit of undisciplined play here from Fredonia. Now there's a minute and 21 seconds left in the second quarter. Fredonia is deep in their own territory. It's 2nd down.
Timeout called.
We've got a timeout on the field.
And I'm sure Fredonia's going to have a little talk
for Fredonia
about keeping composure and keeping your head in the game at this point. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. You do have a 30 to 16 point lead, but as we have seen, scores can change quite quickly. As we said, 22 points did we figure out? Somewhere around there in
within
3
a very
minutes.
Short period of time.
Between the two teams, 2 touchdowns for Fredonia, 1 for Dunkirk, and of course the 2-point conversion for each team. So
again, we're here with the call. I've got Mike Ferguson here on my right. I am Andrew Yelich. It's 30-16. Fredonia with the lead and the ball with a minute 21 seconds left to go here again at Carl Hopner Athletic Field in Dunkirk, New York. Having a blast doing this up here. It's been an exciting first half. Lots of points, 46 points on the board. You couldn't really ask for much more if you're looking for a lot of scores. 2nd down and 17 for Fredonia as they're going to try to claw their way out of their own territory. You got to think if you're Dunkirk here, you want to get a stop. A turnover would be fantastic for them. Give them an opportunity to get some points on the board before half. And we don't have the official call on the field for who is going to receive the ball for second half. I would assume it's going to be Dunkirk. Fredonia got the ball to begin the game. Timeout has concluded. Whitfield under center takes a snap. He's going to do a quick handoff up the middle. That's going to be Gardner for no gain. Clock's going to keep rolling.
You look at
the 1 minute mark.
We'll talk a little bit about it at halftime, but Dunkirk has lost some key players before the season even began this year. Players that the coach Sartori was banking on being around, and yet the team has come out with a positive record of 4-2.
4-2, very respectable.
Their offense, which we'll talk about a little bit later, as it was mentioned in this morning's paper, was all or nothing, and we'll talk about that coming up at halftime. The clock is running with 44, 43, 42 seconds left in the first half. Fredonia leading 30-16, and we're just getting to halftime.
There's the third down play. Gardner with the handoff. He's going to go up the middle, and he's going to break out to the right side. He's going to gain some positive yardage there on 3rd and 17 with the clock still winding down. I'm going to have to assume here that Fredonia is content with taking their 14-point lead to the locker room for halftime. We have a 4th and 6 upcoming for Fredonia. Fredonia is going to be content with taking that lead to the locker room. 30-16, Fredonia leading Dunkirk. And that's halftime.
We are at halftime on Dunkirk's cable access channel. You can see the lights going on. There we go. Hello to our folks on TV. Still rocking and rolling. Okay. Oh, remind us. Okay, certainly. I'm Mike Ferguson.
This is Andrew Yelich.
Andrew Yelich with you tonight. And filling in for Greg Krause, whoever else is there. We are at Dunkirk Access Cable, and we hope that you're going to be enjoying tonight's game and watching the replays throughout the week.
You can check us out on Spectrum. 1301. And you can log in on DunkirkAccess.com. And am I to believe that's where you can watch this game right now?
There you go.
So if you're hearing us and you're watching us, we are live. And if you go to Spectrum 1301.
Well, I know of a couple of people in Rochester that are watching
Access.
it at DunkirkAccess.com right
Wonderful.
now. So
nice.
It's good. We're glad to have you on.
We're going to take a quick break here at Carl Hopner Athletic Field here in Dunkirk, New York. We're at halftime. The score is 30 Fredonia and 16 for Dunkirk. We'll be back in just a few moments.
I'd like to remind everyone that if you are hungry or thirsty, there's some great food at the concession stand tonight. We have pizza, hot dogs, we have chips and snacks. We also have beverages that you can pick up if you're kind of cool. We have hot chocolate if you're cold, and coffee. So patronize the concession stand. We are also getting ready for halftime activities as we announce our homecoming court and one of our homecoming king and queen.
How's it going? Partner. No kidding. Come to your ball head. Get ready.
They're ready? Get stuck, you on your own. I can't see who's up there. I feel like they're not known. Shut up. They're ready to go.
There's something hanging on the tree.
They told you they're ready? They told you they're ready?
Hey, you guys, they're ready to go. And you're saying there's a...
Okay, we're ready for halftime activity.
They're all talking over there.
Homecoming court. As we introduce our freshman king and queen, Marcel Alfaro and Jaden Harris. Our sophomore king and queen, Erica Acevedo and Janari Terry. Our junior queen and king, Janice Rodriguez and Mark Milliman. Senior kings, Earl Stewart and Max Valley. Earl Stewart escorting Jessica Vila. And Max Valley escorting Anishka Soto. Let's give them a round of applause for their hard work and spirit. And now the announcement of this year's 2019 King and Queen. Your senior queen, Jessica Wheeler. Homecoming king, Earl Stewart. Congratulations to our homecoming king and queen. I want to remind everyone that our homecoming dance is tomorrow night. And congratulations to all who are involved in this year's homecoming court. This year, our spirit very competitive, and our classes did a wonderful job showing their spirit. For our float competition, there was a tie for two of our classes for first place. And the tie was between the sophomores and the juniors. And we have a winner for Spirit Week. And the winner for Spirit Week, the juniors. Congratulations to the junior class, the class of 2021, for winning this year's Spirit Week Homecoming 2019. I have in my hand the winning 50-50 number, so you can get out your tickets. You may be the winner. Get your tickets out. If you have ticket number 927960, you are the winner for the 50-50. If you have ticket 927960, you have a winner. Congratulations, you may pick up your winnings.
Don't fall, Chris. Nene ain't gonna catch you. I already know. All right. You leaving? You leaving? All right. Call me though. All right, Mama.
How you gonna post a sign like that? So a girl posted a sign about DK football players that says, but you play. Yeah, no, she made an original sign that says, but you played football as much as you played girls. That was the original. Yeah, that's the one that edited, but the one with the curls and played girls, that was the original one she made. That's why she got all the hate. She's like, I bet you play football as much as you play girls.
And everybody knows. That's up to Dunkirk. Yeah. And she wrote that to the Dunkirk Marauders. Yo, no, there's way more.
And then I guess there was talks of her coming to our homecoming. I think she's
mucho, pero sabe que hay mucha gente mala.
Oh, so I also heard that
We're good to go. All right.
We are back at halftime with the Dunkirk Marauders trailing Fredonia Billies 30-16. And Drew, lots of yardage, and it is definitely a story of two running backs tonight.
Now, I got some statistics here. I've only got the one big statistic here we'll go over, and that's Dalton Gardner for Fredonia, number 3. 299 yards in the first half rushing, and 3 touchdowns.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris Campy, Chris has at least 2/3 of that for Dunkirk as well. He had 2 really big runs during that first half, and just doing a tremendous job. We just found out, by the way, we're not only being broadcast here in the city of Dunkirk, but we're also being broadcast in the village of Fredonia. So, and you can also watch us online.
On DunkirkAccess.com. You can find us at Spectrum 1301. And like we said, we're on the Fredonia, streaming through Fredonia's cable as well. So we've got everybody covered here. So thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. It's an exciting game out here tonight.
Well, you know, they were talking about the all or nothing offense of Dunkirk. Half the games Dunkirk scored over 30 points. The other half of their games this season, they didn't score any more than 7 points. So it's really been an all or nothing. So that's what the coach had mentioned this morning, that it truly was an all or nothing game. And again, Brandon Carmen is the one who was doing the reporting on this one, and he mentioned this morning that they sort of started out a little bit shorthanded before the season even started. Some preseason injuries, and then, of course, they lost a couple of different two-way starters, Taiwan Wright and Conrad Thomas. Both ended up going to Southwestern High School. They transferred. And Rocky Radcliffe, who was big for them last year, and they were counting on him big time this year, ended up moving to California, or returning to California. So before your season even starts, boom, 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 3 of your big players are already on their way out. So for them to have finished 4-2 in a very, very tough division for them is a tribute to their coaching staff.
Absolutely, and on the other side with Fredonia, they're 3-3. They're considered to be a pretty young team with a lot of guys that have a ton of potential moving forward. Now, their star player probably would be considered big number 89, Jake Skinner. He's got a lot of attention coming from some big-name colleges. He could be a prospect looking to go potentially even to Division I ranks. But they've got that youth, like I mentioned. Their quarterback's only a sophomore. One of their best players at running back and wide receiver is just a junior. They've got a lot of height, too. These guys are over 6 feet tall, and their numbers are up this year, too. So it's looking like that program is a lot healthier than it was before. They're back up to the Level C division, down from years past of being in the B, but stuck in that South division. Been told, you've got Southwestern down there who have 2 big-time players from Dunkirk who did a nice job for them last year, who departed for Southwestern, as Fredonia was actually kind of taken to task by them. But there's some promising future ahead for what looks like Fredonia's football program.
Well, they're very fortunate. Both communities are very, very fortunate that they've been able to have strong lineups. Both teams have full lineups. So many teams in Western New York this year have either had to pull out of football programs or have had to merge school programs, or a couple of them had to cancel games in the middle of the season because of the number of injuries that they've had during the school year, that they didn't have enough players to field the team. Not the case here in most of Chautauqua County, and certainly not the case for Dunkirk or Fredonia. And they've got a great junior program pulling players up too, JV program in both schools. So there's a bright future for both the schools. And again, look at the records right now. Dunkirk is going to play in the Consolation Bowl for next weekend, so that'll be good for them. But essentially, this is the end of the regular season for both teams.
That's right. And, I mentioned it in the first half, although the season will conclude for Fredonia, both teams have to look at this game. 127th meeting. Fredonia's won 18 out of the last 20, but Dunkirk leads overall 65-50 and 11 as the overall scoring for victories, losses, and ties. Dunkirk trying to avenge a loss from last year where they got taken to task by Fredonia, but this is a big game. So even if it's a consolation bowl or the end of the regular season for each team, both want this game as if it's a playoff game and ultimately the last game of the year, which it is for one team. But
it is homecoming. It is senior night in Dunkirk,
right.
And of course they had their halftime festivities. And we're ready to rock and roll once again. I'm Mike Ferguson, Drew Yelich, play-by-play, and we are ready to kick off the second half.
And we've got St. George with a onside kick look to it, going from his left to right. It's caught neatly by Dunkirk's number 79, Jackson Pensick.
Next one down.
Oh, Nick Zatorsky. My mistake. That's going to be Dunkirk's football at the 45-yard line. They're going to have that ball on the left hash. Once again, we are on Spectrum 1301, DunkirkAccess.com, and streaming to Fredonia's local cable access.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors.
Tell everybody.
Tell everybody.
Turn us on. Having a nice second half here. 30-16, Fredonia's lead. Dunkirk with the ball in that traditional I formation as we saw in the first half. A fake handoff up the middle, but then given to number 30, Chris Ortiz, who is the star running back for Dunkirk in that first half, breaking off some big-time tackles and taking it to the house for him. Just going to get 2 yards there on that first down play as we're underway here officially in the second half.
And we want to thank some of our listeners or our viewers. They're keeping us in touch. In fact, I know that a couple of people are going back and forth between the high school game and the Yankees. To give you an update, top of the sixth, the Yankees are leading 4-1 over Houston, and we'll keep in touch with that as well. But this is the big game for the night here in the city of Dunkirk.
Messina under center, fake handoff, rolls out to the right. He's got a lot of running room. I think he's going to take it himself. He does. He gets past that line of scrimmage just about 1 yard on the play. He's going to be a little bit slow to get up. That's another one of those looks that we've seen him do, that roll out to the right. He's going to pop right up, run to the sideline, get that next call. You know, they just aren't really able at the moment to get that guy open coming from that left to right for that pass for the first down stakes.
Well, you know, it was a nice fake handoff, and Ortiz played the fake very, very well, but just could not get beyond the right side of that Dunkirk defense. Who has been swarming all night long. In fact, if the third quarter blocked the pass attempt. So they're getting in the backfield and they're getting past that Dunkirk offensive line. But Dunkirk has a fast back as well and a strong back.
Chris Ortiz has been
Chris
great
Ortiz.
for them. Now, so what just happened here is Messina, the quarterback for Dunkirk, has to come off the field because he's on the ground for too long. The backup quarterback, that's Ahlstrom, he's going to jump in on the play. He's going to hand it off to Ortiz. Ortiz is going to bust it up the middle, and he's going to get a first down.
We also want to welcome Brian Thomas, who is watching tonight's game live. His dad played in 1943 to 1945 in this game.
Wow.
So that goes back a ways. We said this series started 1901, 127th edition of this game. So a lot of history. And a lot of folks tuning in who have been watching these games for many, many years.
Happy to hear somebody from way back then tuning in, seeing what's going on with the action out here. Just under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. First down, Dunkirk, and a first down run. That's Ortiz again. Heard his name called all night long. We've got a backup quarterback in right now. That's Alex Ahlstrom. We're going to see Messina on the sidelines looking like he's a little bit shaken up. Coach is going to look back to see if he can get him back in the game. He's not going to be able to.
If you're watching or you want to send us a memory, you can do so on my Facebook Messenger. Just send that out, and we'll be glad to give you a little shout out tonight. Maybe you played for one of these teams, or maybe your father, brother, or sister did. We welcome all the viewers tonight.
I formation, Ahlstrom under center. He's going to do the handoff to Ortiz up the middle. Ortiz dragging players from Fredonia with him as they're going to gang up on him and take him down. They're going to stop him just short of that first down marker. We'll see where the official mark comes. It looks like he's going to be inside the 40-yard line at about the 37-yard line of Fredonia. So good field position for Dunkirk to start this second half as they started at their own 45-yard line. Short field, 55 to go. They've gotten a first down so far. It's a 3rd and 2. the 37-yard line in Fredonia's territory. Huddle's broken. Ahlstrom still under center with an I formation behind him. Likely to go to Ortiz. Why not keep calling his number? They do. He's going off that right side. He's going to power forward, and he's going to have enough for a first down as he falls forward just about that 32-yard line. Got a referee marking him at the 33. We'll give him that.
Anthony
First
Gallo
down,
came
Dunkirk.
in and out of the game. He's back out. Yeah.
All right, Messina's running back into the huddle. That's a good news for Dunkirk and good news for him. 4 minutes gone so far here in the second quarter as the run game for Dunkirk starting to take over and take that time off the clock. We saw early in the game when they had a long 90-yard touchdown drive to take about 6-7 minutes off the clock for a score.
Ahlstrom in motion to the left.
Another handoff to Ortiz. He's going to be stuffed. He's going to get a couple yards, though, maybe 3. So he's going to get down to about the 30-yard line. The clock's going to continue to roll. You'd have to think down by 14, Dunkirk probably wants to keep Fredonia's offense off the field, and what better way to do it than pick up first downs methodically with 2-3 down drives here for 12, 13 yards per new set of downs.
We'll go the third, and Acevedo were the anchors of that defensive line and trying to hold him back as best they could. Up the middle, they're having a tougher time. Off to the left side of the line, or right side of the line, is where Chris has been able to make his mark.
There goes Ortiz up the middle again. He's got a pile with him, dragging a couple players with him. Won't go down without a heavy fight. He's inside the 20-yard line, and Dunkirk's going to have enough yards for another first down. We've got him marked down at the 17-yard line.
I'm being reminded of another player that played for the Dunkirk team over the years, back in the 40s. Voice of the Buffalo Bills, former voice of the Buffalo Bills, Van Miller.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a pretty notable name.
Thank you, Brian.
And we're so used to John Murphy now. He's been there for quite some time. Dunkirk with Messina back in the game under center. He's going to go to his running back. That's number 4, Jamari Terry, up the middle to give Ortiz a little bit of a rest.
I think that's his first carry of the night, huh?
Ortiz has been the workhorse for Dunkirk's backfield tonight.
He's got his helmet off, getting a little drink of water on the sideline, so they're giving him a bit of a break. Like you said, he has been the workhorse of that offensive backfield for Dunkirk.
Breaking tackles, carrying players, diving forward, pushing forward for those extra yardage to get those first downs. Had a big play in the first half on a 4th and 2. Messina back under center is going to do a quick toss again to Terry. Terry handles the toss pretty well as that came flying into his face mask. And he's going to fight his way down just inside the 10. We'll see where they put that ball for the mark. I want to say he's almost got that yardage. He might just have enough for a first. We'll see what the official mark is.
Well, he comes out and Ortiz goes back in, but I was impressed by his discipline on that play where he followed his lead blockers. He followed his offensive line. Didn't try to make a hole on his own, didn't try to break out to the right, just followed his blockers to pick up those. And I think he might have that first down. We're going to find out as they bring the chains out for a measurement right now. Was 3rd and 5.
By the look of this measurement, I mean, get
They got to be very close. First down. Call it a first down.
We've got an official Dunkirk first down.
There you go. Yeah.
Now the clock only stops for the chain gang to come out and get that official mark.
Once again, in tonight's game, Cross Training will be giving a Character Athlete of the Game award tonight. They do an awful lot with Chautauqua County athletes, teaching them about character building. We appreciate their time. A lot of former athletes involved there, businessmen, women.
Ortiz with the handoff. He looks to leap over the defensive line, but he's stuffed. Might have gotten a yard on the play. That's big number 56. Acevedo, Yaniel Acevedo to make that tackle.
Acevedo just has great technique when it comes. He's smaller. It's not like he's the biggest guy in the world.
Right.
He's 5'9", but he's 265 for a senior. That is a lot of man right there.
Yeah.
He just gets his arms around the runner and brings him down. He just does a tremendous job.
Now, this is something to take note of. We're approaching 8 minutes on this drive right now, and it started at the 45-yard line of Dunkirk. Now, that's only 55 yards to go to get into the end zone, and they're just methodically moving this ball down as we have another run up the middle with Ortiz on second down that's going to be stopped for about no gain, and it's going to be a third down play coming up.
McCall in on that tackle as well as St. George, and again, wow, just it looks like Fredonia has finally found a way to block up that middle, which Chris was running through quite easily in the first half.
Yep, he was gashing them up the middle. His touchdowns came from runs broken through tackles going up the middle. We've got 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Clock's still ticking. There's Messina. He's going to do that roll out to the right side. He's looking for a guy in the end zone. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to be tackled at about the 5-yard line. He's going to slide out of bounds. They're going to stop the clock. He's down. He's been getting beat up a little bit tonight, but he keeps getting back up and
he's not getting up right now. He was hit hard. He's hit very hard.
Yeah, he looks like he's laboring over there on the sidelines. They're going to have an official timeout here to go see what's going on with him. It's going to be 4th down and goal coming up from about the 5-yard line.
Just tuning in, 3:26 in the third quarter. Fredonia with the commanding 30-16 lead, but over 20 of those points were scored within 3 minutes of the second quarter. So a lot of scoring in the first half. No scoring yet. Fredonia seems to have found a little bit of their defensive strength, and Dunkirk having a difficult time getting into that end zone.
Absolutely.
And he is up and he is moving.
That's a good sign.
But he took a pretty good shot on the sideline there. Almost out of bounds, actually.
So this is a big moment in the game here late in the third quarter. Now, Dunkirk's the only team so far who's had the ball. They took the ball again from their 45-yard line. They've killed 8 minutes and 34 seconds off the clock with this drive. It's 4th down and goal from the 5-yard line. They've gone exactly 50 yards with the ball. 4th and 5. You'd have to think they're going to go for it down by 14 points. Now, it's not ideal for them with Messina, their best thrower, coming out of the game. He's not going to be able to
go in for them.
He's not going to be able to join the huddle. They're going to throw in Ahlstrom. That's Alex Ahlstrom, the backup quarterback, number 8. He's already seen some snaps on this drive, so he's got to be pretty comfortable. And he's been on the field during this drive as a running back and a wide receiver. But the play call here is potentially a little bit limited because, he hasn't seen any throwing action yet tonight, and you've got 5 yards to go. But we've got Ahlstrom under center with the man in motion right to left. He's going to fake the handoff to Ortiz. He's going to bootleg to the left. He's got a guy in the end zone. And the ball's going to fall incomplete. It hit him in the hands, but the defensive play was key on that because the defender didn't let him come down cleanly with the ball.
That was Jose Camacho that got his hands on the ball, but was not able to bring it down. Nice pass attempt. But Fredonia's going to get that ball now on the 5-yard line.
Pinned back deep in their own territory. 9-minute drive right there. Unfortunately for Dunkirk, is going to come up empty. But on the bright side, their defense has an opportunity to make a big stop here deep in Fredonia's zone. Flip the territory advantage once again and maybe come back with a short field.
Well, Dalton Gardner has 3 touchdowns for the Billies already. They're 90 yards away from pay dirt, and here he comes again.
Once again, he's going to go off that right side. One tackle, but Ortiz, the other running back, with a good tackle at the 10-yard line. If Ortiz doesn't make that tackle, he might be taking that one to the house too.
You wonder, you have to think there's got to be an advantage to a linebacker who is also your star running back when he is playing linebacker, to know what move his opposition may be making on a running play. He covered that one. Probably the best coverage of Gardner all night long right there on that play.
He's been running pretty wild so far. Again, 299 yards in that first half. That's
still picked up 6 yards.
Right, as they're looking to dig out of the hole. Whitfield gets the snap from the shotgun again to Gardner. Gardner with a big pop. Took a big hit there. That's number 75 there, Joel Burgos. That was a big hit.
Yeah, he went down quick on that. Burgos hit him on his right shoulder.
And that's quite the size advantage there, too, he has.
Burgos sitting there at 277, 5'11".
Wow.
Wow, there are some meaty boys on both those teams tonight. And he used every pound right there to take down the Billies back. 1:39 clock moving, 30-16, Fredonia leading the Dunkirk Marauders.
3rd and 1. Whitfield takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Gardner again. Gardner's breaking tackles, and he's going to be out just past the 20-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down for Fredonia, as they're content with just feeding him the ball as he's adding to that yardage total. 1 minute and counting left in this third quarter.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Lunell Bone to the broadcast tonight. He's watching from wherever he may be. Still no score change in the ACLS. Yankees leading the Astros 4-1 in the middle of the 7th inning. Paxton finished 6 innings of good pitching tonight.
We've got 2 receivers on either side of the line. One back.
Well, flag thrown.
Flag on the play. And we'll have a delay of game on the Fredonia Hillbillies. It's tough to tell with the play clock here because there isn't one.
Yeah.
So we have no idea.
Yeah.
So we'll just take their word for it. They're going to march him back about 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. 1st and 15 coming up with 45 seconds left in the third quarter. And that third quarter is, well, it's going to be over here shortly. And it's probably not going to take much more than 16 minutes. That 9-minute drive had almost no stoppages. And we're set and ready to go with Whitfield ready to take the snap. It's a high one. He handles it okay. He's going to run it out to the left himself. He's going to try to gain some of that yardage back. He might have picked up 1, maybe 2 yards on the run over that left side. Well-handled high snap. That's not easy to do as he's 6'5". Good thing for that.
Well, he's also smart enough to get out of bounds and stop the clock. So we're at 38 seconds. A lot of young, especially at high school level, they forget to get out of bounds. And, you know, after you've picked up some yardage and take time off the clock, he was smart enough to be able to get out of there. And 2nd down now. 2nd
down and 13. Thank you for listening on Spectrum 1301 and DunkirkAccess.com. Shotgun. Snap is to Whitfield. He's got a man in the flat. That's Gardner. Gardner's off to the races. Now he's going to make it to midfield. He's going to cut it to the middle. He's going to go. And I don't think anybody's going to catch him at this point. Ortiz doing his best to get there, but he's not going to do it in time. He's going to get
Ortiz going to get a flag.
He's going to get a late penalty for unnecessary roughness as he's pushed down from behind a couple yards in the end zone.
Wow, he has just got one vision, and that is the end zone.
It's unbelievable what we're seeing.
He can read the field. He can see where the defenders are going. He made his moves. He makes his cuts. He makes cuts at full speed and just opened that up. And an unfortunate penalty in the end zone at the end. But there's a little bit of frustration on the Marauder side, and you can certainly understand that to a certain point.
That's right. The score goes to 36-16 right now with a 2-point conversion pending. We'll move the ball from the 2-yard line to the 1-yard line.
And we've got another injury, number 24 from the Marauders.
That's Champ Texidor. Texidor? We'll go with that one. So
he's coming
that's
off a
the
little bit slow,
first
but he's up.
completed pass of the day that's been past the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Both teams have attempted to pass the ball. Not a lot. It's been the run game mostly.
Well, we did have a 2-point conversion, but
we had a 2-point conversion in the corner of the end zone. That was.
Well, they're going to kick the extra point here, or attempt to kick the extra point.
First time for either team tonight. At the end of the third quarter, we've got our first PAT. It's up.
It's good.
And it's good. So Fredonia tacks 7 points onto their 30 to take a 37-16 point lead. For those at home counting, that's 21 points. With 22 seconds left here in the third quarter from Carl Hopner Athletic Field.
Nice kick by A.J. St. George. Just
it's good to see that.
Put that right between the uprights, and it was high enough, and certainly long enough. In fact, it was longer than it was higher there, and he did a great job of picking that up.
We've got another injured player on the field.
Busy trainer for the Marauders tonight.
We hope that Messina can bounce back from that little shakeup on the Fredonia Hillbillies sidelines. Alex.
So Texador still sitting on the bench, and we've got other Marauder players, we said, sitting on the 6-yard line.
Alex Alstrom has been filling in at quarterback for Messina when he's gone down. He's been doing just fine.
So this is the first set of points in the second half.
Took a whole quarter.
Yeah. 22 seconds left as we are in an injury timeout.
So now we're going to need to see some urgency here out of Dunkirk. They need 3 scores. But it starts with 1 here to get back in the game. This is a lengthy break here. The player is going to be a more serious variety for the injuries. Fredonia's lined up to get ready to kick, but they're going to need to probably come off the field, and we're going to have to get this guy off the field before anything happens here. Both teams actually are unaware that there's a man down because they're both taking the field.
Once again, we want to thank Spectrum Television for having us on channel 1301. Also, Dunkirk Access and their crew. You can watch on DunkirkAccess.com. You can watch replays there as well. Got a camera crew here tonight doing an excellent job, as well as our technical crew. Still down. And Court Sotori has gone out.
Yep, we've got a more serious injury here than what we've seen before.
And both teams are going to go to their bench, or Fredonia's going to go to their bench now during this time, as well as Dunkirk.
All right, so let's recap what we've seen so far. We have an exciting first half with 46 total points scored.
Well, how many yards does that put Gardner over now? He's
from
over
scrimmage, from scrimmage, he's got to be pushing close to 400. He had 299 yards rushing in the first half. Not sure how many carries that was, but it's probably somewhere around 10. So you got to think he's almost getting 30 yards a carry. A lot of those were broken from 55 yards, 60 yards he had. Ortiz had a 79-yarder for a score. And he's been fantastic tonight for Dunkirk. Nearly unstoppable. He almost single-handedly drove Dunkirk down to that 5-yard line off the second half kickoff with about 50 yards rushing of his own. But Gardner's been doing it all for Fredonia. He's really has been unstoppable here. But Fredonia, Dunkirk, they exchanged roughly 22 points within 3 minutes or less of each other in that second quarter, with some big plays just back to back to back.
Well, both teams showing a little concern for down player there that we have not identified.
We can't identify him yet. We don't know.
But they do have some medical personnel out there working on him right now. As we said, it's a dangerous sport, as is many sports, but cold night like tonight, any hard hit hurts much worse than it does when it's warmer temperatures.
There's no doubt about that. We've got 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter, which is the least of anybody's worries at this moment. We just want to make sure that we see our Marauder here get up.
At full crew, you know, you talk too about what it takes to put on a game here. Not only does the school staff who have other jobs during the day have to be here, but you've got volunteers that are here. You've got parents that are working the concession stands.
Thanks for the coffee, by the way. Concession.
Yeah, if I knew it, you're getting it's free. Right?
I took 2. I asked you if you wanted one. You didn't.
You did.
So
you did.
2.
You did. You did ask me. That's right.
I would have given one away, but I had drank one by the time I got up here.
Me and coffee at this time of night. I'd be up at 2 o'clock in the morning. But you got to thank all the timekeepers and all the people that got volunteers that took the $1 at the door tonight and And, of course, the coaches of the cheerleading squad, cheerleaders out there bundled up tonight, but they are working hard as well. They've had to crank out 16 push-ups so far tonight for the Marauders.
Got a shot of the stands here.
Yeah, packed stands on both sides. Just a good turnout
view.
for everybody. We've got, I see Audrey Reading and Brittany Hawkins from Fredonia Place here tonight. They are co-workers who've come out to cheer on Mr. Reading from the Fredonia.
This is a
Hillbillies.
great field out here. I really like what they've done.
It is nice, and you know what it was 10 years ago compared to what it is today. In the program, the players are proud to play on it.
Yeah.
The alumni, of course, are proud to come back and see. And you're talking not only. Oh, looks like we've got our player
He's
up.
They might have strapped a brace around his leg from what it looks like from my vantage point. That's going to be Jackson Pensick here, number 79.
Yeah, they got a brace.
He's
on
got
his
a brace
leg.
on his
They got
leg.
an air brace.
Now, I don't know. I remember an ambulance being at the field. Maybe it's not an ambulance-worthy injury, but he's in a leg brace.
Or at least carry
He's
him off
gotta
the
go to the
field
hospital,
or something. Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's a tough one. When you got an air brace on the bag. I mean, on the leg.
We should,
that does not look good. So, could be a knee injury. Could just be a precautionary measure.
Yeah.
We hope that's the case. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially the last game of the season, or at any time. But it looks like he's in a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. They're going to take him right to the locker room, and I'm quite sure they will either get him an ambulance or get him to the hospital.
It looks, well, we'll leave the, we'll let the viewers be the at-home doctors and take a guess at what's
There you
wrong
go.
with them.
Both teams taking the field again.
Something might be a little twisted, might be a little broken, but it's good to see he's able to at least
We'll hope for a spring.
get
How's
off
that?
there. There you go.
22
Just a spring.
seconds left in the third quarter. Fredonia leading 37-16 as they get ready to give the ball back to the Marauders, who are hungry to put some more points on the board, and they certainly have the team that can do it.
So here's what happened at the end of the play, of the scoring play. Now they kicked the extra point from the original 2-yard line. So what they did was they moved the ball up 15 yards from the kickoff spot at the 40-yard line to Dunkirk's 45-yard line for a short kick. Now, I'm not going to, he kicks it before I could finish the thought, right into number 9, or number 6, I'm sorry, Peter Presettas Jr. is going to recover that ball. I was going to say he's probably not making it to the end zone, so they're going to have a run back with the advantage being on the kicking team, having the short field to cover, but it didn't get past one of the first defenders of that Dunkirk lineup.
For the second or third time tonight, it's bouncing off teammates, and
Into
once it
someone's
hits
hands.
that teammate, it's a live ball. So
Right.
fortunately, neither team has turned that over on the kickoffs or the punts, but which sort of surprises me that they did the squib kick, considering the very nice field goal kick that
Right.
they had at the end of their last touchdown.
All right, Dunkirk's ball, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line, 19 seconds to go in a 3-score game. There's that power eye. They give it to Ortiz. He's going to bounce off one hit, and he's going to be wrapped up just about 2 yards after the carry.
Jake Skinner wrapped him up, brought
Good
him down.
tackle. Ortiz running tough still. Getting late in the game here. I think they're going to let this wind down. It's going to be the end of the third quarter, and they do.
That's the end of the third quarter. The score of the Hillbillies.
That's where we wrap up. 3 quarters down, and Fredonia leading the Dunkirk Marauders 37-16. You're watching the 127th meeting of the Fredonia Hillbillies and Dunkirk Marauders on Spectrum 1301, DunkirkAccess.com, and Fredonia Cable Access. Mike Ferguson, Drew Yelich with you. As you can see, the Marauder cheerleaders trying to encourage their boys one more time as we get into the fourth quarter.
Anything can happen here. Dunkirk's going to have to play this fourth quarter with a little bit more urgency. Now I'm seeing Messina on the sideline. You know, when we were here for warm-ups, he can throw the ball pretty well. So with him being on the sidelines, that's going to kind of change maybe their game plan. But they have a very capable backup with Alex Ahlstrom. He'll be wearing number 8 if you're looking for him. And of course, they've got Ortiz. He can break one anytime. He did it in the first half. He's shown that he can break through tackles. And
also, traditionally on senior night, last game of the season, and you're down by 21 points, there's a good chance we may be seeing some departing seniors
get the seniors
in and out of both teams.
Ahlstrom under center, motion right to left. He's going to throw a pitch out. That's Ortiz running on that right side. He's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, maybe behind. That's 4 players, but the original tackler there, number 64, that's Alex Christie with the tackle. We'll see where they mark the ball.
Christie in on that, as well as number 52, Matt Lotter.
Now we have a man down, number 59 for Fredonia. That's A.J. St. George. So they're going to run out and check on him. It's 3rd down and 8 for Dunkirk when play resumes with 11:49 left. That was a good tackle there by, excuse me for forgetting Alex Christie. Met him in the backfield, broke through all that blockers.
I also want to thank our 4-man officiating crew tonight for doing a great job. Very busy tonight. A lot of personal fouls on both sides of the ball.
Went to college with one of those referees out there.
Which one? Ford?
Fody.
Fody. Where'd I get Ford from? It starts with an F.
Yeah, same thing.
Hockey player too, right?
Yes, he was, yeah.
As well as yourself?
Sure.
I won't tell people you were watching the Colorado game.
Oh, hey. They won in overtime, so you'd know if it was something upsetting. We'll take the 2 points and go home. All right, there he's able to walk off on his own. That's St. George for Fredonia. Maybe just a little bit dinged up. We've got Ahlstrom taking the calls from the coach, getting into the huddle. 3rd down and 7.
Coming into the game, Alex Christie again.
He's the one who just made that tackle for no
Christie,
gain.
Senior for the Hillbillies.
Ahlstrom is under center with a power eye. Tight formation, 1 man out to the left. Quick motion, we've got a flag on the play right as the ball was snapped. We'll see what he...
Might be illegal procedure.
We have offside on Fredonia. First one of the night. That's going to tack 5 yards onto the 3rd down play. 3rd and 2 we'll have after they march it up. Ball will be placed at the 33-yard line.
Encroaching just a bit there.
35 is the yard to gain for Dunkirk in their own territory. They need to score here, and they need to score quickly.
Alex Ahlstrom under center again.
Ortiz in the backfield. He's going to fake it to Ortiz. He's going to take it along the left side, out around the edge. He's going to lean forward and reach with that ball as he reaches the sidelines for the Hillbillies. He's right at the stakes.
Chased out by Gardner.
On the spot. It's tough to see.
Dalton Gardner. I didn't realize he's a senior this year.
What a way to finish the senior year.
Yeah. Anthony Gello, senior. Greg Johnson. Also looking at Alex Schrader.
So they're going to mark the ball at the 34-yard line. And it's going to be a 4th down and 1. It's going to be 4 down territory all the way out for the Marauders. They break the huddle. Ortiz still in the backfield, likely to get the ball. And that's just from what we've seen tonight. We have a timeout on the field. That's going to go for Dunkirk. They want to talk this one over to make sure that they can get the right play to keep the ball moving forward.
We're going to
10-16 remaining.
Run down the remaining seniors for Fredonia. Then we'll go through the seniors for Dunkirk. Patrick Reading, a senior this year. Tyler Ardillo, as well as Zach Dolly, Colton Coosdale. You're looking at Joe Gullo III. Acevedo is also a senior. McCula, a senior. St. George. You're looking at Christie, as well as Lilly, Lansky, Skinner, all seniors for the Fredonia Billies. What do we got for Dunkirk Marauders this year?
For our seniors, we have Peter Paredes Jr. We have Mark Milliman. He's made an impact on the game tonight. Brian Montalban, Eric Mendoza, Jose Camacho called his name out tonight. Earl Stewart, as we're going to resume play after that timeout. Fumbles the snap.
Fredonia's saying they got the ball.
Push forward. Fredonia comes up with the ball.
It
Number
is.
70, Nick Lilly, has the ball. So the fumble off the snap falls into Fredonia's hands. We'll see what the officials are going to make when they make their mark, whether it was really a fumble or just a pick.
Well,
it's going to be a first down for Fredonia. That's an official fumble. Off the snap, he just didn't get a clean snap off. And Lilly picks it up for Fredonia, and that's going to be a Fredonia first down coming at the 35-yard line for Dunkirk. Now I left off at Earl Stewart. He's a senior for Dunkirk. So is Peyton Ahlstrom, Juan Rosado, Adrian Washington.
They're going to the end zone.
Quick snap on the play. We have a catch in the end zone. That's Troy Lansky with the pass from Nick Whitfield Jr.
One play.
One play
after the fumble.
And I wasn't even looking.
And it's 43-16.
With the deep pass, that's the deepest ball we've seen thrown all night.
Well, I threw you off.
Beautiful pass, beautiful catch.
Recognizing the seniors before they leave. That's
trying to give a shout out here that they just want to play football. They don't care what I'm saying.
One play, recover the fumble. First play, thrown to the end zone, and the Billies now lead 43-16 with 10:05 in the fourth quarter, and they're going to go for two. Under
center is Whitfield. He's going to fake the handoff. They're going to go to a pass play. He's got a man that open in the end zone. That's number 89. That's Jake Skinner, the big target, to make it 45-16. 8 more points to that lead. Fredonia's taken over the second half. It's been an interesting one. Dunkirk had that 9-minute drive that came up empty.
Yeah.
And that was crucial. They were down 14. They got down to the 5-yard line. And on a 4th down and goal, they were shut down by Fredonia's defense, that goal line defense. Now that's the second time tonight we've seen either of these teams get into the red zone inside the 10-yard line and come up empty on downs. Just not an ideal time for Dunkirk to have done that. That being said,
is what it is.
It is what it is, and 95 yards later, Fredonia went down the field and scored a touchdown in about 30 seconds on a
We'll finish up on Dunkirk's there. You said Rosado, right? It was also a senior. Also Adrian Washington. You're looking at Devin Land, Gadiel Casanova, and Julian Pagan, who is crossed off for tonight's list, but a senior. So congratulations to the seniors from both teams. You're graduating this year, and onward and upward to all of you. We certainly thank you for your dedication to the athletic programs at both schools. And don't forget to give a thanks to your coaching staff and your locker room staff and your medical staff. They're all good people.
Fredonia ready to kick it off here. St. George dribbles one down the middle of the field. It's going to be fielded by number 7. That's Milliman. He bobbled it as he was trying to pick it up. He gets out to the 20. I have another shout out, Mike.
Go ahead.
For a former Fredonia football player.
There you go.
The best running back never to play, Tommy Coughlin.
Never to play.
The most forgotten about, best running back never to play in Fredonia's history.
Well, see, but everybody knows who he is now.
Of
so
course.
He wins.
Yeah.
He wins. Troy Lansky with that stop, by the way. And I'm sure, hopefully they're watching down at Coughlin's and having a little brew for us.
Yeah.
Maybe you can save us one after the game. We'll
yeah. I'm sure they have plenty.
I think so. Always well stocked.
Under 10 minutes to go. Dunkirk's got a first down at their own 20-yard line. Score is 45 Fredonia, 16 for Dunkirk. Dunkirk's going to try to move the ball here and get one of those late scores. Something to celebrate. Ahlstrom's going to run out to his left. He's going to keep it off the snap. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like he might fall forward for about a yard.
You can certainly tell that the temperature has dropped from the opening kickoff as we head into the 10 o'clock hour.
Nice and warm up here.
It is nice and warm.
Couldn't have asked for anything else. I was thinking I was going to have to bring a space heater. I actually brought hand warmers, and I gave them to one of the referees who was having a tough time at halftime, said his hands were cold.
Oh, well, that's nice.
But it's good to see them go to use because I couldn't think of another time I might use them.
We're down to 42 degrees in downtown Dunkirk, city by the lake.
Dunkirk breaks the snap. Huddle. Ahlstrom under center with that power I formation. Still Ortiz is going to get the handoff. He's going to go up the middle. It's going to be wrapped up by a couple of the Hillbillies there and brought down for a minimal gain. So they're approaching that 25-yard line, and we're getting close to that 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter.
Big night for Dalton Gardner for Fredonia football. Was it 4 touchdowns now? 4 or 5?
He might have all of them. However many touchdowns they've scored, it could be. Other than that last one, which was a fantastic play. And if you're watching it on TV, you were able to see it as I couldn't quite fumble out the names of all the seniors. Less than 8 to go here. 3rd down and 5 for Dunkirk at their own 25-yard line. It's a fake handoff as he's going to roll to the right. That's Ahlstrom, the quarterback. A nice-looking pass out to his receivers, just over his head, and his outstretched arm. The intended receivers, Peyton Ahlstrom. Can't confirm the relationship, but might be related. It's now 4th down and 5 with the clock still continuing to run. Looks like the punt crew's coming out for Dunkirk. I've only seen 3 punts today.
Fresh air is going to get me. I just forgot we got a camera sitting there as I'm yawning.
They'll understand.
They'll understand.
They shouldn't be looking at us in the corner. They're
That's
just
right.
watching the game.
Jimmy Batista coming in for the Marauders, number 50.
Thanks for getting us on the bottom right corner there. Spectrum 1301 and DunkirkAccess.com. You can see the people calling this for you.
Yeah. So who's that good-looking guy? Well, that would be me, Mike Ferguson. Along with me is Drew Yelich.
That's right.
It was fun tonight. We had a good time.
Absolutely. It's been a long time since I've done this.
6:52
hey, there we
left
go.
in
We're
the fourth.
zoomed in now. We've got the lean in there.
There we go. Hello to everybody watching. In
Camera
Fredonia
doesn't
and Dunkirk.
quite give my hair justice, but it's a lot longer than it looks.
Trust me. It's not a basketball you're looking at. That's my head. So, you know.
Dunkirk with the timeout. Says 4th and 5 on the scoreboard and 2nd on the sideline. We'll figure that one out. Dunkirk's getting ready to punt the ball.
Last game of the season upon us, or the regular season upon us here. It's the postseason, and you got a lot to look at. A lot of great games coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Punts it from about the 15-yard line. Fallen on by Fredonia at the 49-yard line.
Jake Helmer just lost control of it.
So he's trying to field that ball off the...
Covered, I think Thompson was one.
Looked like it was a sidewinder there.
Yeah.
Difficult to handle. They're going to mark it at the 48-yard line inside Dunkirk's territory.
Well, now comes the march to the former Rich Stadium, now known as New Era Field, and home of the Buffalo Bills. And as the Bills take to the road, that's when the high school championships begin play.
Now, you said Dunkirk's going to the postseason.
They will go to the consolation game next weekend. Yeah, in their division.
That's good for them. Get one more game for all these players. Hopefully they can heal their injuries and get back there and put forth a good effort. Fredonia, this will be their last game of the year. Going out pretty good fashion. They probably wouldn't want to ask for much more than this. We have a short delay here in between the changing of the offenses here. Ball's marked now at the 45, not the 48. Have a correction there from the referees. And Fredonia's going to come out here likely with an offense that we haven't seen before. I think you mentioned it before. It's senior night, you know. Everyone
and homecoming
needs to get in here
together.
You know, we're looking at a new quarterback for Fredonia. That's going to be Jake Helmer. He's in the shotgun with 2 wide receivers to his left, 2 to his right. 1 goes from the left to the right in motion. He keeps it himself with the fake handoff. He's going to be brought down for about a 1.5 yard loss.
Schrader's in the game now. Alex Schrader, number 14. So you say you're seeing a few new faces there.
Number 4.
Troy Lamisco. Thompson in there.
They're going to get their time in here, get some last few minutes of playing. About 5 minutes to go. Helmer takes the snap from the shotgun. He's going to keep it himself. As he sees a hole, he's going to run out of bounds just past the 45-yard line. We'll see where he marks him, about the 44.
Run out of bounds by Barreto.
45-16 here.
4 minutes and 44 seconds. Well, actually down to 40 seconds. Clock is running. And really, the winds have died down quite a bit.
Yeah.
From what it, not that it was, as I said, none of the weather affected tonight's game, that's for sure. There was no weather.
No, it was a really nice night. We've got a pass play from Helmer to Schrader, but he's unable to bring it in. As it's off both of his hands. He bobbled it in his outstretched arms, but he's not able to haul it in. We're going to have a 4th down and 9 from the 44-yard line.
We're at the top of the 9th inning. Yankees still with a 4-1 lead. Chapman now coming in for the Yanks to try to close out the game as the Yanks try to hang on against the Houston Astros.
They're going to have to play back-to-backs, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow and Sunday?
I would guess so. Although there might be, well, is there travel in there? Because they got to go back to Houston, right? Or no?
No, I think because of the rain delay the other day, they have to go into Houston and play right away. We've got a flag on the play here. Great one-handed catch off the snap to the punter. That might have been one of the best plays I've seen all night.
Might be too many players.
Definitely the best catch I've seen all night is he just one-handed it over his head. It's too bad we don't have replay here. That would have been something to put on the highlight reel. I'm sure when they go over it Sunday night in their last film session, they'll be loving that one. So they're going to march him back 5 yards.
What they call?
Delay of game. Delay of game on the field. Fredonia is going to punt it. Kicks it from his own 35-yard line. Still gets a deep kickoff. And it's going to take a little bit of a Fredonia bounce, but he's not going to give him much from it. It's going to be marked down at the 27-yard line. Dunkirk's going to take over the ball with 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game.
Milliman almost got his hand on that punt, just short of blocking.
They were looking for something there.
So good punt considering the pressure that Dunkirk was putting on them.
That's 2 punts aside for both teams.
So Dunkirk has good field position as we get ready to rock out the next 2 minutes and 50 some odd seconds there. Final quarter.
See if they have any magic up their sleeve for one last big play. They're going to go back to that pistol formation we saw in the second quarter. We've got Ahlstrom in for quarterback. He's going to fake. He's not going to fake the handoff. Ortiz is going to get it. He's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Could have been potentially a miscommunication.
Kind of surprised Ortiz still in there. Andrew Camp in on the tackle there.
Ortiz, a junior this year. 6'3" and 200 pounds, junior.
You know, I had one guy on my team, I think that was over 6'3", and that was Gronkowski's uncle. Yeah.
Big
Glenn
family?
Gronkowski.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Or his father. I'm not sure which. I forget which one. But yeah.
Back to that
Baker,
pistol
West Seneca
formation.
West.
He's a junior, and I mean, you got to think he's just going to improve for next year. But it is kind of strange to see him in the game this late. We're going to have a passing play here. Alstrom's going to throw it deep. He's got a man. We've got a flag on the play. Let's
That's gonna be
see
pass
what
interference,
they
I think.
want to call here. Now, definitely going to be pass interference. Now,
Alex Schrader, number 14.
Is it the push-off or is it the hold?
That's a tough one. I'm going to think it was the hold as he tried to go back to try to catch it before it hit the ground.
They're going to talk about it for just a moment here before we get the official call. I believe that flag was thrown, meant to be at the 45-yard line of Fredonia. We'll see. It's going to be a first down. So they're going to mark him at the 41-yard line in Dunkirk territory. So first down for Dunkirk as the pass play, although falls incomplete, will be a first down on the penalty. Pistol formation once again. Another pass play. Love to see this. He's going to go deep again, going back to his man. He's looking for
Right
Paredes.
through his hands.
He just can't quite grab it. So it was along the sidelines there, just past the 30-yard line.
Nice coverage there by number 14, Alex Schrader and Lemisco.
We're under a minute here at Carl Hopner Athletic Field. We thank you again for watching and or listening on DunkirkAccess.com, Spectrum Channel 1301, and Fredonia Cable Access as well. From the shotgun, Alstrom trying to buy some time in his pocket. He's going to throw it out. It's going to be an up for grabs ball.
Intercepted.
And it's going to be
Interception.
intercepted by Fredonia. That looked like it was number 14, Schrader. Correction, that's number 4, Jacob Thompson.
Game number 5 of the ACLS is over as the Yankees beat the Astros 4-1. They'll be going to game 6 now.
A lot
We
of
thank
Yankees
Frank
fans
Papilia
out
for
here.
those updates. A lot of Yankees fans here in the crowd and in the booth. And
That is going to do it.
that's it.
Clock has hit 0. So at the end of the game, we have a final score of 45-16 in favor of the Fredonia Hillbillies as they defeat their arch rival Dunkirk Marauders in the 127th meeting of the two. We want to send a special thanks to Dunkirk Access crew, Gabriel Taylor, Lee Woodard, Dylan Murphy, and thanks, Mike, for doing this with me. Mike Ferguson to
Thank
my
you.
right. Drew Yelich on the mic for the play-by-play. And thank you again for watching on Spectrum Channel 1301. You can like us on Twitter and Facebook. See all of our coverage stories on DunkirkAccess.com. And there's one last thing to happen here as the character athlete of the game is going to be awarded.
No, looks like they're getting ready to do the character athlete.
We'll stay on for the character athlete of the game. But it was a fun one out here tonight.
Yeah.
That first half was as fun as it gets. Wild scoring.
Don't think so.
Fredonia sealed the deal in the fourth quarter. We've got the
We're waiting on the
handshakes going.
cross-training character or athlete of the game. And you can see that they're going through the crowd to try to find the player that they were looking for.
Now, I believe they give this award out to the player with the most heart.
That's right. Who's shown the most character during the course of the game. It's being brought to them by Cross Training Organization. And these volunteers attend, they're former athletes themselves, and former business and current business people. They teach character to young athletes, male and female. They just do a tremendous job.
They cover some 64 teams. I believe they're working in the Southern Tier. And they go to all of the games throughout the year and award a player each game.
I think they're going to bring the player out in number.
Wait to hear.
So once again, we are at Carl Hefner Field, and the only thing we're waiting for right now is the presentation of the character athlete of the game. And as soon as we can see who it is, we will let you know who it is. It is going to be number 3 for Fredonia. That is Dalton Gardner.
The character athlete of the game for Fredonia is number 3, Dalton Gardner.
Well over 300 yards.
Tremendous game.
In the game. Just had a tremendous job.
Unbelievable. To think that he had nearly 300 yards in just the first half alone.
And for Dunkirk, let's see if I can catch that jersey there.
Looks to me like it's Messina.
Character athlete for the Marauders.
I can't see the number.
I'm going to take a guess just based on that's number 2.
Number 2 for Dunkirk, which is Phil Messina.
That's right. He played a hard game out there tonight. Got banged up a little bit. He had to come out of the game middle of the fourth quarters. He started taking some pretty big hits, but he and his star running back, Chris Ortiz, they put on a show in that first half there, did a nice job. They just didn't quite have that firepower, but congratulations to him.
Well, we got a big old moon coming up across the field, across from the press box here.
Oh, yeah.
Over Carl Hefner Field. So for Drew Yelich, I'm Mike Ferguson, and for our cable crew, we thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next year, or actually possibly in the postseason. We don't know what they're going to be setting up and who will be going just yet. So take care. Have yourself a good night. Bye-bye, everybody.
Sorry, Mike, covered your face there. Have a good night, folks.
That's all right.